Toycat, and welcome back to SkyGloo. This is my series where I spawned in a floating igloo and I've been trying to turn it into as much of survival as possible. What a terrible start to a stream. My voice decided right then, when I was saying hello in my intro, was the perfect time to crack. But hello, I'm IBX Toycat, this is SkyGloo, and let's start with a chill introduction as to what I want to do in today's part. Basically, I've been working towards getting lava as my primary goal for some time now. I've got dripstone blocks, I've got stone, I've got beds, I've got villagers, I've got cactuses, and I'm getting more and more items, but one of the items I'm critically missing and that I require it's still, to this day, a slime. I could get this from a lucky wandering trader, which I'm still kind of hoping just mysteriously will appear, but I'm also planning on an alternative way to find a jungle, and that is a long ice pathway. This is an ice pathway that will take me all the way out to a jungle. It's just not finished yet. I'm going to need thousands of more ice blocks, which means I'm going to have to hang around here for thousands of more blocks worth of mining, because I have a big ice farm. I need to let the ice farm, and that's what we're doing today. Along the way, I'm going to be making sure I get as many boat sails as possible. The easiest way to turn wood into emeralds is by taking your spruce logs, turning them into spruce planks, and then turning those planks into boats. Because as it turns out, selling sticks is easy and it's great for speedrunners, but if you're in a long-term world and you have one of these guys already, look at the value. It's incredible, and you can do it as many times as you like. But yeah. Let's go to sleep, let's work on our farms, let's work on our big long-term progress, and today is going to be the day I end up in the jungle, chat. I know it, you know it, you're here for it, it's going to be exciting. That is my big goal that we must move forwards on, and I am excited to get us there. So let's throw away some of our blocks for now, because I am starting to just fill up again in a way that isn't productive. Then let's sell some more boats in the morning, because we can do this all day, every day, you better believe. That's right, let's get in there. And then let's go chop down some more of the... Oh, there we go, perfectly sold. Then let's go chop down some more of the trees that allow us to do that. So yeah, getting a ton of emeralds seems silly sometimes. Like, Cat, what can you really buy with emeralds? But the answer is literally everything. Like, whether we're talking about buying enchantments, one day I'll be able to put mending on my tools, or whether we're talking about... Also, I've got a smite axe, I can just kill him. He's got some wonderful saplings for me. But when we're talking about, like, okay, mending on tools is useful, or we're talking about the fact that I have diamond boots, but eventually I can unlock a diamond chestplate, all of these things are what I can get with just the right supply of emeralds. Emeralds are your solution to generate so many things that can't be found otherwise, and if you've ever played a skyblock, one block, whatever you want to call it, super flat style situation, this is great. So with that said, hello everyone, hello lesbians, Pout, hello Adansoni, hello, apparently Adansoni said hello everyone, and then Pout said hello lesbians, and so I guess we worked out some new details there. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Hello, how are you doing today? I am looking forward to this one, chat, because we, it's been a busy day working on like I would say important update stuff, but still I've been like talking a lot about updates. So it's fun to have like a little bit of a chill and just work on some survival. It's a weird thing to say, but all day today I've been like, you know, I want to just build I want to build like a modern meta style house in Minecraft, in my Minecraft world, so I can like compare it to like the opposite. I just want to build it in Minecraft. I don't even understand. Like I feel like sometimes like video games are good that way, that you don't even want to like do, you don't have like a specific big thing. You're just like, I want to do this small thing. That would make me happy. Like I saw someone playing City Skylines by putting everyone through multiple toll booths today, and I was like, I want to get into that for that reason. And it made me realize, like, oh yeah, so much of what we do is kind of driven by these little things that we see in our world. Like even like what you want to eat for dinner or something is probably driven by like what media you've consumed that day. And I think a lot of people find that horrifying. Like, you know, how little of your free will is really free and how much of your free will is just what you have seen or whatever, but I find it to be like glorious in its own way. A modern house as seen on the Minecraft marketplace. I mean, I could only ever aspire to build as modern as the modernist houses on the marketplace, let me tell you. Also, isn't it crazy, most of these challenges are impossible without the Wandering Trader. He's gotta be the most underrated feature. I remember, I'm pretty sure I started playing the regular super flat survival before the Wandering Trader, or if I didn't, I certainly didn't take him into account in my plans. Maybe the first time we had the idea for it was before then. And it's interesting because the Wandering Trader really is the thing that makes this all possible. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Also, Jason Moore is currently draining an ocean monument. It's more complicated than you thought. Yeah, the draining an ocean monument is a great survival project. It's a bit of a grindy one. There's definitely some times where you want to like sit into a grind. Sometimes I'm just thinking to myself like, I would love to just go mining on my Elytra tunnel. I know that if I give it like 3-4 more hours of love, I'll have a more functional tunnel. The same is true for my like Never in the Overworld project and stuff like that. There's a lot of things where I'm just like, if I just spend some time on it, it will be better. But yeah. Also, but yeah, chat, I think it's interesting how much of like our desires that we think are like super unique things, but are kind of just things that we've seen. But also I think that, you know, even though some people find that to be terrifying, I find it to be like kind of like relaxing and calming. That sometimes you worry like, ooh, you've got to be doing something so incredibly crazy of your life that no one's ever done before. But actually, like, you aspire to live your life like vaguely like other people, plus or minus a few percent or so. Shouldn't have thrown that chicken egg, should I? So I do have some shears. I do like to shear my sheep every time I'm up here. Just, you know, keep up on the wall. One day I'll need a bunch of it, and I'll be glad that I'm chopping down so much. But for now, that should be plenty of spruce, which means I'll cover my boat making for some time to come. Certainly for the rest of this stream, and maybe for a while past that one. Well, you know, I can hope that that's true at least. Okay, so let's grab the rest of these spruce saplings. I don't need them, so I'll use them as furnace fuel. And we'll go down and start mining that ice. You know I need to. So I'm a Wandering Trader fan in normal survival. He's my most common source of mangrove wood. Yeah, I kind of like that the Wandering Trader, especially now, just be clear, like, post-rebalance, the Wandering Trader is super, super cool because he allows you to access things that could be far away. Like, giving me a mangrove propagule, like, maybe I don't want to deal with that. But on the other hand, so let's just put 2 piles in here, and we'll keep 1 stack on me that I can just, like, re-up when I want to. Oh, the Wandering Trader's here! Oh, we spoke about him and he's here. So, I don't like to let this guy kill himself. Pro tip, he will do it. Please give me a slime ball. That's not 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 a... I guess I could buy some pale hanging moss. I know if you don't buy it, it won't naturally spawn. So I could put some of that, like, here. Yeah, that's nice, I guess. And then I guess I could buy a potion of invisibility, but I wouldn't want to. Gunpowder is actually theoretically interesting, but I'm not going to buy it. Like, if I ever got an Elytra, it's going to be hard for me to kill creepers. So if I buy a bunch of gunpowder, I could, like, get ahead of that one. I'll buy 2, just so I am ahead. And then I think I might need one of those tulips. I cannot get tulips besides buying them from him. So if he offers me a tulip I don't have, I've got white and I've got orange. What do we have? I think he offered a grey one. Please don't kill yourself yet. I'm so busy trading. Pink. So that is new. I'll buy 1. You can grow infinite numbers of these if you have 1 of them at least. But if you don't have 1, that's just not possible. So let's go down here. Let's take away the cooked chicken and replace it with my tulip. So yeah, slowly, chat, we are starting to get the entire collection of flowers down here. That's kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, otherwise, this is a bit of a dead of a Wandering Trader. Kind of solidifying that we are probably going to have to go thousands of blocks out for a jungle. So I guess we'll get ready for that. So yeah, this is my ice farm. It's a simple formula. You keep some source blocks ready and able to go. Specifically these ones. And then what should happen is as the rest of the blocks flow around it, I have to keep this one broken too. As the rest of the blocks flow around it, they create new source blocks of water. Then those source blocks can refreeze. Effectively meaning you can farm ice for nothing. And that's what we're going to sit here doing for a little bit. Right now, though, even with all of this, I still only end up with 1 stack of ice per time that I smash this. It's a little bit more than a stack in this case. But, like, I'm going pretty short, right, of where I want to be. That's closer to 100. And so if I want to go 2,000 blocks, I have to break this entire thing 20 times. I can do that, but it is messy. And if I have, like, bigger ambitions in the future, I'm going to regret not expanding it sooner. So that's the plan. We're going to expand it. I don't know if I want to go in the direction of the base, but I think that's what we're going to have to do. We'll expand in this direction this way, just so that it stays making ice in the way that I want it to. I liked the idea of, like, having this be a controlled space, but for now that's not the most important thing. So let's go Let's make a bunch of spruce fences, and let's make even more ice creation area. Do we think there's a stronghold above Y200 in this world? There is a 0% chance of a stronghold being above Y200. Like, I think it literally can't generate there. I'd be surprised to learn if that wasn't true. But I've never seen one even get close to, like, Y100, you know? So again, possible, not likely. Therefore, we'll just say that it's not going to happen. If it somehow does, it would be genuinely millions of blocks away. And so we can say that unless this world is wildly lucky in a way that I've never seen or noticed, it's probably not happening. So let's now grab all of this ice out. We've got a nice big pile of it. And no, let's not do that yet. Let's expand our ice fields first. So we're going to put all the ice back in. I am just using regular ice because it's the simplest way. And then let's grab some of my spruce. One stack. Make some sticks. And then that's 57 fences. That's more fences than I should ever need. So I'll go for like 35 of them. 47, great. Then we'll make some boats. You can always sell more boats to your trader. That's a valuable lesson for you. And then we just need some oak planks. Should be easy enough to do. Let's take like another 8 of those. That'll get me plenty far. No, I'm gonna want way more than this even. I think I'm gonna take like 28. Make a whole stack and a half. Just oak planks everywhere. Because I need to get so much more ice than I have right now. And that means I need to at least double the size of this field. So let's place a bunch of blocks here. It gets very scary, so I'm going to turn on my controller. Although arguably this is scarier, because it could always be that this turns off. So here's a fun difference between controller versus keyboard mouse. You can hold crouch on a controller, you can't on keyboard mouse. Also, the video is up, chat. Good news. Thank you, Ash. It's a bits video that includes 2 very huge pieces of news today. The first of which is that Minecraft seems like they revealed the Minecraft live date. The second of which is that there's a brand new Bedrock update. And people always ask, like, what's inside of those. So I like to show people what's inside of those. So I think this is as far this way as I really feel like going. I think 46 is a nice starting position. Nah, we'll go to 45. Let's make it round in a way that means something. So we'll go all the way up here. And we'll start placing our fences. Then we'll place our fences also over here. And so on and so forth till we're good. I am going to just mine some of these while I'm here. So I'll put a fence there, which I've already done. I'm going to mine some of these blocks, chat, because I think that the more often you mine them, the better it is. In terms of, like, now more blocks are able to refreeze. As silly as that feels. Also, with the minecarts, Caves of Clouds, this is confusing. Sick, how old? Says, say it louder for the people in the back. Oh no, my Forever World's birthday is tomorrow. That's what you're responding to. You're not responding to me. I'd be very confused if that was for me. I made a funny mistake, chat. In my... I don't know how the mistake, like, got there. But I named my video... like, placing 1,000 beds in my 11-year-old world. And it's like, oh, well, that's silly. It's not 11 years old, it's 12 years old. I just wanted to point that out. It's like fun. Fun that you can make mistakes. Like, I don't know, I feel like most people don't get their own age wrong. I think in my mid-20s, it happened a lot. Like, the difference between 24 and 25, I think, 23 and 24, 25, 26, it's like fundamentally nothing. You could argue there's some difference between 25 and 26, like, or 24 and 25. Like, there's you know, you start to be able to drive big vehicles, I want to say, at 25. There's a few things like that happen. Grass blocks, by the way. Do I want those still in me? I'll put them in here for now. So yeah, we got all the blocks we need, but I haven't made enough boats yet. So we're going to get boatier again. Every day we want to be maxing out our emerald supply. And it's just so cheap to do it this way. So why wouldn't we? And then we'll make a few more boats. So I'll just keep a stack of this ready. It's funny. There we go. Fill the inventory. I can only sell 2 of these now, but now I'm just more ready for next time. So, okay, have you tried Battlefield 6? Says Jeffy V2. No, there's a... I think, like, I don't like that this is my opinion. I don't think it's a correct opinion. But I am of the opinion that, like, first-person shooters don't hit right with the way that I play games anymore. Like, I used to hear, you know, when I was, like, you know, when I was like 18, 19, playing a lot of, you know, Call of Duty or, you know, Blacklight Retribution or whatever else, I used to hear people say like, oh yeah, like Twitch shaming, it's like a young man's game. You know, you can't do that past a certain point. And I'd feel like, well, that's like not true, is it? Like, you know, like it's just, you know, you just don't want to do it. It's a new skill that old men aren't adapting to. But yeah, it's interesting because it's really interesting that like now that's how I feel about FPSs. I'm like, you have to play at a level that isn't fun. And that's something sad in that, I would say. It kind of goes back into the aging thing again. So I can't have you, but yeah, so I haven't tried Battlefield 6. Adam Sony's asking if anyone has played Project Zomboid though. Because they're trying to recruit things. You know, if anyone here does play Project Zomboid, and you want to play with some people from the Toy Cat community, what better time to join than now? Toby Piggy 123 says, me and my friends are doing a hardcore challenge. Last to die on this seed. Oh, that's a fun idea, actually. I like the idea of, like, yeah, like, last to die. I think hardcore with friends is, like, quite a challenging concept. I really like hardcore because it works so well solo. I'd be interested to learn how you guys... Oh, no. Okay, gotta make sure I don't do that. I'd be interested to learn how you and your friends make that work. Oh, yeah, it's really easy to mess this up, chat. It's really, really easy to mess this up. Okay, so we let all the water in from the side here. And we're going to let it in from the front over here. It's still not flowing off the edge, which is fine. So now, I think the easiest way to actually move the water here, like we want to do. So we're going to have to break this wall here next. Okay, so here I am. Let's give it a good break. And then we're going to have to break all of this ice just to make sure that it flows normally. Okay, so I'm very, very scared that I'm going to break one of the floor blocks and then, like, flow through it or something. Okay, here is my idea, chat. I need to get water into other places. What is the easiest place to move water from place to place? I'm glad you mention it. It's using ice, which I conveniently am mining right now. So even just in the time since I've last left it, I've got myself just over a stack of this stuff. And I can place it, like, in this corner here. And then break it. And then place it in this corner here. And it should turn all of this into more source blocks. And then we just have to do the same, but over here. So that, put into water. That, put into water. And then the same thing happens. And now we've got so much more potential water that can turn into ice. I should start to actually, you know, move a little faster now. Boom. Wonderful. That's how I feel about commercial FPS games like COD, but I still love FPS games like Borderlands. Yeah, I think the cleverest solution I've seen to it was Titanfall, where you got to feel like you were a crazy badass because you were killing a bunch of, like, NPCs mixed in with the people. And, like, it never lied to you about it. I think modern FPSs have worked out. Yeah, if we just put bots in the game, people get to... Because everyone wants to feel like they're better than the average player, but fundamentally everyone can't be better than the average player. Someone has to be worse than the average player, but people who are worse than the average player don't want to pay for microtransactions, which is a flaw. So the easiest solution they've come up with is like, what if we just lie to people? What if we put bots in their games? That would make them feel real good, I guess. And yeah, it does make people feel really good. But it also then feels a bit like, you know, I think I'd rather you tell me the truth about this. But that's kind of one of my, like, controversial long-term beliefs. I think I like the truth about a lot of things. Where people prove time and time again they love lies. People love it. People love a cheeky lie in their life. You know, a cold hard truth. That's no fun. Cheeky little lie. Yeah, that gets the juices moving. See, I realize I can't actually keep doing this. I need to put my torches back down. Although it is seeming like I'm getting more ice because I'm not putting those torches down. But yeah, we're going to put the torches on this fence here, I would say. So there, and here, and here, and here, and just enough that we don't have to, you know, replace our ice over and over again. Anyway, I can't stay today, so I'll be streaming either tomorrow or Friday. Me too, Xavier. Me too. Hi, happy to catch a SkyGloo episode. Yeah, I love a good SkyGloo time. I'm excited. We're going exploring today. I finally got my ice in a row. Let's start placing a bunch. And then we'll see from there, like, how many we actually need. So again, careful to not go below Y200. My goal is to never go below Y200 and gain an advantage. It's so weird. Look at the ice and the clouds, chat. They just do not render together correctly. It's super, super, super strange. If you waterlog blocks in a diagonal, they won't freeze, and they let the source blocks regenerate. Oh, I think you're right about that. Yeah, you can't freeze a partial block. So that might be a clever way to, like... Yeah, I think I might do that, actually. And then it would also let me climb out easier. Oh, God. I didn't realize the ice ended so soon. So we're at Y200, and I've got... 3 stacks is about 200 blocks. I've got about 400 more. I want to see what it looks like when we're 600 blocks away from here. Obviously, the best thing to do would be to place this all in one go. I just want to go out there, chat. You know, I want to see what it's looking like. It'll be great. Video games have been rotting my brain. I had a dream that I won Fortnite. Not like a victory royale or something like that. I won the entirety of Fortnite. You know, that's... I feel like if you play any game too long, you get this, like, Tetris effect thing. I still vividly remember this. I got really into League of Legends. Because it was just, like, at the time, when I was, like, in college, everyone was getting into a MOBA. Like, if you thought League of Legends was too casual, you'd get into Dota, the Valve one. I don't even know what that stands for. If you thought Dota was too, you know, like intense, and so was League, you get into like Smite or something like that. But everyone was getting into a MOBA game. But the problem, like, but they were these games, chat, and this is an example of like I followed the crowd wisdom, even if I didn't want to acknowledge it. Like, the games would take 45 minutes, and you'd need to play a lot of games to learn what you're really doing. So I would play for, like, 3 hours, you know, and I'd get 4 games in, and that wouldn't be enough time. So you'd have to play, like, many, many hours a day to, like, get the hang of just your one character, let alone understand, like, the broader implications of the game. But, yeah, so I would, you know, that's what I would be doing, is I would... you know, I'd be playing hours and hours, and because I was playing hours of League of Legends, I would go into, like, school. I'd go into, like, a crowded room, and there'd be so many people in the room, and because I've been playing League of Legends, where if you get 2v1'd in that game, you're dead. Unless you're so much more powerful that it doesn't matter, you're gonna die in a 2v1 always. That's, it's called ganking, I think. I hope it's still called that. But so I would start to picture where bushes would be well located that I could hide in, and I would start seeing them everywhere. It was crazy. I think the same thing happens if you play, like, Minecraft enough. You start looking at everything in the real world, and you're like, I could build that. I could build that. I see the material blends they used, etc. Yeah, I think it's actually interesting that some people... I think the people who make, like, building tutorials on YouTube, you know, like, full respect to them. You know, like, they've been told by the YouTube algorithm, your success is how impressive you can make builds look. And so, more people think that builds are impressive in survival, but really they want to see creative builds. So they've worked out this, like, tool. I think it's called Lightmatica, that you can use. So you can build something in creative and then just place it in survival. It's like, but it's technically building in survival. But what's really interesting to me is the fact that, like, people have to spend their, like, full-time jobs working on this thing. And so, like, average players look at it and they're like, this is just the standard it's meant to be. It's like, nah, if this is what someone can do with 8 hours a day to dedicate to Minecraft building, I think it's, like, useful to know, like, yeah, if you're the average player, you don't need to go that deep and that intense. And I want to mention that right now, because I feel like it's the sort of thing that no one will say. I'm, like, a big believer in this idea that, like, Minecraft is about what you want to do inside the game. Also, we're almost at 600 blocks, but we don't see anything besides Iceberg yet, so that is useful to know. So, chat, do you want to be terrified for a bit? You feel like getting a bit terrified? You want to get scared? Look at me riding my boat. Oh, yeah, I don't like it at all. Look at me riding my boat here. If I fall, chat, it's over. 156 days of hardcore. They're all gone. If I just fall off the edge. And, you know, I've fallen off the edge in boats many a time before. Am I going to do it right now? I certainly hope not. Okay. Let's pick up some real speed now. Oh, yeah. Saving a lot of time versus traversing on foot. That's for sure. So yeah, it's very, very, very spooky to say the least. But I think we have pulled it off. Speaking of spookiest, I don't seem pooky in a while. This is, I think I've mentioned before, chat. There's, like, the parasocial relationship is, like, a dangerous, like, two-way thing. I feel like, you know, you can actually, it's something that, like, has happened where there's, like, some people where I'm like, oh, yeah, they've been, like, friendly and kind and, you know, fun in all their interactions. Isn't it a shame we don't see them, you know, anymore? I think it's, like, an inevitability of, like, doing some... Entertainment is a very fleeting field, you know? If you have a relationship with a supermarket, chat, you're probably going to buy from that supermarket for the rest of your life. Maybe slightly less sometimes. Maybe you move country and you physically can't. But, like, I'm probably going to buy things from Tesco till the day I die. The same is true. So, how are their monsters? Oh, right, the zombie. That makes a lot of sense. You know, I'm probably... I feel... Whereas I feel like video games or, like, you know, like, TV... There's a reason TV lasting for 10 seasons is an abnormal thing. Like, I think Netflix got a lot of flack recently for, like, oh, they only renew shows for 2 seasons and then they cancel them. Like, why does Netflix hate consumers so much? It's like, no, people stop watching the show somewhere in the... Most people stop watching a show somewhere in season 1 or 2. And so it means that, like, you know, it stops becoming viable to produce that show, especially because costs tend to go up. And it's like, yeah, actually, I think a lot of our, like, what we assume is, like, some business doing something is, like, them responding to what we say we want. And the biggest example is entertainment, where it's like, oh, yeah, people say they want it how it was 10 years ago, but no one will watch it how it was 10 years ago. I've been watching some Let's Plays recently, chat, that are, like, very, you know, very, very old style. It's like, it's a guy talking and then playing music for a bit and then talking for a bit. It's like... I've been watching a little bit of those. You know, getting a little bit of nostalgia for Digimon World 2003. But it's interesting because, like, yeah, they have 217 views or something. Because, like, who is this for? Even for me, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm here for like 5 minutes, then I'm out. I'm not subscribing to this guy to see his next thing where he talks for 4 minutes, kind of strangely, then moves on. Also, moving to another country actually made me just start only shopping at Lidl. Says General Delogu. Oh, General Delogu, you're from Wales, right? Or you're in Wales. Yeah, I think something about... I think my shopping patterns definitely change based on the country I'm in. Because, and I think kind of interestingly too, supermarket, like, basically, the reason that, like supermarkets put so many traps in place, they're there to basically price segment effectively. Price segmentation is like the idea that some people can pay more for something and some people can pay less. In taxation, you can just say, you are legally compelled to pay us more for this. That's how the government operates. But private businesses can't say, hey, can we see your income before you buy this? We'd like to know if we could charge you more. People find that to be revolting, I think. Honestly, understandably so. And so, also, I'm gonna spend some of my my emeralds now, chat. I think it's this guy. I think it's his iron swords I need to buy. Okay, one more iron sword, chat, and then I can sell him flint, and then I can buy a diamond axe. What was I even hoping for? A diamond shovel at the 4th level? It's not looking good for me, though, is it? Not looking good for me at all. So I'll go back to the armor smith, and I'll see what I have to buy from him. Mathematically, buying leggings makes sense. I'm gonna buy leggings and then just drop them on the ground. Oh yeah, I'm using all my emeralds now, chat. They're all gone. But again, we're now getting closer to that diamond helmet that you know I'm seeking. Imagine how great that helmet is. It's gonna give me so much more armor. And it's why I'm getting all these emeralds. It's so I can make frivolous decisions, because everything in life is a frivolous decision once you really get down to it. Okay, so it's probably worth combining some of these sharpness swords together. It's not a good use of experience, but I have too much experience anyway, I feel like. So let's just do it, chat. Let's just make a sharpness 4 sword. Like, what's gonna harm me about that? Not very much, I think. And now this does 11 damage? Wow, yeah, let's keep this going, and then we'll just repair it with more swords if we need to. Yeah, chat, look at this. Sharpness 4 sword. This is more than a Neverite sword of sharpness 2 on. Anyway, yeah, the idea of, like, price segmentation is really, really, like, crucial. So, like, the way that a lot of companies do... like, I think supermarkets are interesting because, like, you can't say that pasta is 40p for poor people and 80p for rich people. You just can't do it. But what you can do is you can go to the factory that sells pasta and you can tell them, look, I know that it usually costs 80p, but can you make a really stripped down version that costs 40? And they're like, honestly, pasta's just pasta. It wouldn't... There's not really a way we can save money. So they're like, okay, what if we made the packaging look poor? What if we made people feel like they were poor if they bought the poor packaging? And actually, that works. If you've ever looked at Tesco Basics and Sainsbury's... sorry, Tesco Value, Sainsbury's Basics. A lot of their, like, success is in basically, you know, making you feel better when you spend more. And it works for a lot of people. I think, okay, the craziest example of this that works, in my opinion, is basic economy. If you are below the age of 35, if you've only started traveling in the last 15 years, you see basic economy and you think, yeah, I would like to save money. I'm going to fly basic economy. Or economy minus, as I think they call it in one of my favorite Amazon Prime shows that got cancelled after 3 seasons. Economy minus is like the default go-to economy, but every time I see people in their like 50s and 60s book, they're like, oh, I don't want basic economy. And you're like, why not? And they're like, well, you know, because it's cheaper. And so, yeah, because statistically, as you get older, you get more money. And as you get more money, you think to yourself, why am I buying the cheap stuff? I've only got so much time to live. Speaking of only so much time to live, thank you for buying the premium version of this Toy Cat stream, Demon Super Ultra Nuke, Toy Cat Supremacy. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. When are you next doing the Void World, says Brit7677. I was thinking about it this morning. I don't want to do it right now. I want to give it a real breathing space and see if I want to do it again anytime soon. If I don't want to, we could just not, ultimately, right? But yeah, I want to see. I don't want to, like, I don't want to feel beholden to have... Oh, so I've got 2 of these. So I'll grab both of these, because I still do need the lever as much as I need the rest of this too. So grab this, grab that. We're good to go. Canada's yellow off-brand packaging is supposed to do that, but it's too iconic. Yeah, there's a lot of easy ways that you can make rich people feel repulsed by something, which is genius because it just means that if you have less money, you get it for cheaper. You know, it's I think that it's like the way that it is done is surprisingly clever, and maybe we should like learn something from it. Anyway, also I feel like I could keep this water like above a bunch of signs maybe. And then I could, like, collect all the ice a lot easier. You could definitely automate this. That's for sure. So, yeah, I used to be buying Aldi and a Kroger's, but now there's just a Sprouts inconveniently located. So, yeah, I think if you go to another country, their tricks don't work on you. Because, like, if you go to Canada, you see that yellow branding and you're like, oh, yeah, that's the goods... I don't mind buying that if it's so much cheaper and it's just pasta anyway. I think there's like how well the way it works is so interesting place by place. But so I also think that the reverse can work especially well. You might not realize it. Okay, so I'm going to mine a bunch of ice. I'm going to stand right here and see how fast it grows, chat. I've got 2 ice blocks, 3 ice blocks in the last few seconds. 4 ice blocks. But so whenever I go to America, I really fall prey to the Whole Foods or the Sprouts trap. When it comes to like frozen or like canned stuff, I think it's like really dumb to pay like 1.5 times the price for what's probably gonna taste about the same. But I really love when you sell me something that has a bunch of features. You know, like sell me a pizza that's frozen that costs for some reason $13, as much as a normal pizza, by the way. I have no idea. American frozen pizza, such a scam. But like, sell me a frozen pizza that costs $13, but tell me it's got croissant for the crust, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm in. Let's, you know, let them cook, I guess, is to put it in modern parlance. It's exactly how I feel. Yeah, also Void World is great. But you should use slabs to get lower down when mining blocks. That way you use less of the stone, and it's easier to get a slab back when standing on another slab. Yeah, that is a very good point, Pout. Yeah, I'm overcome. I spend a lot of my time talking about how you shouldn't let perfect be the enemy of good. It's like the simplest rule for life that we eternally find difficult to follow because someone insists that perfect is possible, and it's not your fault for demanding it, and so you're like, oh, maybe I'm crazy. But letting perfect be the enemy of good is going for perfection so much that you never even achieve something. It's a very common flaw, very common goal. I'm just going to take some spruce slabs. I'm going to put them where I want the water to stay. Someone said 3/4 slabs, but I think regular slabs should work fine too, right? So if I now put a slab there, it's easy for me to climb in, but also stops that from falling out, and also from melting, in theory. And then we'll put slabs like here, and here, and here, and we'll see if they stay there. But yeah, we'll break the rest with my Silk Touch pickaxe. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like a very efficient day if we sit here doing this all the time. So we definitely need to do other big, important things. So let's do precisely that. If I'm just waiting for this a lot of the time, how about I make my sheep farm bigger, chat? I think that's a valuable use of my time. I think if I get some sheep that I could use to make some future big build in the colors that I want, that'd be good. That'd be really useful. So let's make that our goal, and then just every now and then go back into the ice farm, chop it down, keep things moving. Sounds like a plan. Let's do that. So one more boat sail today, I believe we can do. And then we can buy just a few more leggings from this guy. Chat, I think we're... Wait, is this a different armorer? Or is it the same armorer? Oh, I bought a bunch of leggings when I could have been buying hats. Huh. I think I did buy a bunch of leggings when I could have been buying hats. Or I guess I could be buying more projectile protection boots. Maybe that's what I was waiting to do. Yeah, I think I made a big goof, chat. Perfect can't exist because the perspectives are never the same. Yeah, that's a really useful lesson too, Kat, is that there is no such thing as objective perfection. You just get different versions of it, which is the whole reason why segmentation works as a system, is that the perfect item for most people, if you're price conscious, the perfect item is the cheapest one that isn't terrible. If you are not price conscious, if you are price insensitive, then you could say like, yeah, actually, I think the difference between spending £10 and £15 on something that you buy once a year is nothing. But if one makes me happier, I'd like to spend that much. So I'm now going to combine these two boots together, just because they'll be slightly better than what I have right now. Might save me from a skeleton one day, chat. And then we're finally going to make the purchase. No, we're not. We're finally going to agree that the projectile protection helmet is coming soon. I definitely need a second armorer. So let's work on that now too. As well as working on my eventually improved sheep farm, let's work on getting one of those moving. So how do you make a blast furnace, chat? You make a regular furnace, you get 3 smooth stone and 5 iron. How do I get 3 smooth stone? I think I've got some of that sorted already. So 1, 2, 3. I'll move the rest in here, shall we? Actually, in here, I guess. That's where stone goes. Or do I have smooth stone already? I don't. And then we're going to have to breed some more villagers, get some more beds. It should be easy enough to do. I've already got the little pile over there. So let's make some beds right here, right now. This is my wool supply. White beds are just easier to color later. So 9 white wool to make 9 beds. Or 3 beds. And then we'll just start piling them up in this corner over here. If the villagers happen to die, then, you know, so be it. I definitely think I want to do something about this, chat. I don't like that there's just a big ledge going off to nothing there. I think I should put a fence... I think I'm going to put a fence over there. I think that would be good. If not for the Wandering Trader, who does have a suicidal ideation problem, then for everyone else, indeed. Also, evening, sir. How are you doing today? Enjoying the heat? So I had to start working early today, just knowing it was going to get unbearably hot. And thankfully, just as like the peak of the heat got here, it started thundering and raining heavily. And so it's not been too crazy hot today. I'm being glad about that. Like I've started to think recently, like, you know, would I work better if I wasn't in a abjectly hot office all the time, every time? Maybe I would, you know, maybe I would. Also, more coffee needed. Yeah, maybe I should wake up early and just drink some coffee. Maybe that would solve all my problems. Okay, so let's make a pile of planks. Make some more boats. Make sure we get those boats sold. They're not going to sell themselves, am I right? And, yeah, so now we got the beds. We just have to feed these two guys some bread. Thankfully, bread is purchasable from your boy. He loves to sell it to me. I'm just going to get that so I can buy apples when I need them later. And just you guys... Wait, where are they? Is it this? Yeah, it's the... They're so close together you don't even see the butcher back there. We give them a bunch of bread. They make some baby villagers. And we just have to trap those baby villagers in none other than a boat. Also, they just give them to that guy? I guess if he feels like breeding. So we'll put a boat down, like, right here. And then another boat down right there. Later, we're going to have to, like, pulley it up to get them up here. And get my furnace with them. But different problem, different time. Then we get our smooth stone. We get 8 cobblestone. It's pricey for a furnace, so I see why I wasn't, like, too willing to do that immediately. And that allows me to make a furnace, then a blast furnace. And I'll put that blast furnace right up here. Just for now, I guess I could put it, like... You know, I think I should start filling in from right to left, just so later these things become obvious. So I already have another villager here, unless he's a toolsmith. He is a toolsmith. I buy a lot of stone pickaxes from this toolsmith, and I don't feel like doing that. So instead, here goes my blast furnace. Now, when the next baby grows up, he'll become a blast villager, furnace man. It'll be great. So for now, let's see what one overnight trip has done to my ice supply. I really need to be rolling in the ice soon, because I've got a big trip I've got to do, and it'll be good. Yellow mayonnaise supremacy. You'll never catch me with white mayonnaise. Take my neon yellow mayonnaise from my cold dead hands. Oh, I got a sandwich. So again, if you want to know, chat, like what entices me. In fact, actually, here's an interesting example of like price sensitivity, like doing weird things to me. I used to live by a supermarket, and it was just one of my joys in the earliest days of. It's called Yellow Stickers in the UK. If you're not familiar with it, it's like it's a real joy. But it used to be that supermarkets would just leave something on the shelf until it went bad, and then they would throw it away. And then they worked out, like, okay, what if we said, look, this item has, like, 1 day left until it goes bad. We'll give you a discount if you buy it now. They put a big yellow sticker on it saying 50% off. And for a lot of places, that worked. For a lot of people, you know, for some people that worked well, and it was great. And then they started thinking, like, well, if we put it at 50% off with 6 hours to go, and no one buys it, should we keep reducing the price till someone does? And in the earliest days of, like, discounted supermarkets things, it'd be like, you would find things for 1p, because they'd rather make 1 penny selling this than have to get rid of, you know, use the bin space themselves. And so in the early days, people used to look at, like, a sandwich that was reduced and go, ugh, that's kind of nasty, huh? I wonder what's wrong with that sandwich. Whereas after a while, people instead start... Oh, so I think I'm going to bring the sheep into that pen over there. I think that actually is the logical place for them. Chat, I think down there, I think that should be made into my pen. Or at least, I should move the pen near the house. On the other side of this, I could see being a really good idea. I'm going to put some planks down on the bottom here, just so I can put my dirt on top of something. But I think to match this ice pen, we're going to have a sheep pen, at least a few blocks of sheep pen over here. So if this is at this layer, I want to go 1 block down to make my my plank layer. So let's go grab some of those now, and let's do it. Chat, I think I'm going to do something wonderful now. As a kid, I used to love buying an 8-piece Choc Swiss roll kit from Quick Fit. Wait, you used to buy... They used to sell Choc Swiss rolls at Quick Fit? That's interesting. Also, more beige than yellow, but I like to call it yellow mayonnaise. Oh, you're definitely talking about Kewpie, right? Kewpie mayonnaise is the good stuff. If that's what you're talking about, I will fight to defend Kewpie mayonnaise's honor. Quick Fit, do you mean Quick Save? Quick Fit is the Quick Fit is the... It's like they sell tires, I want to say. I've never been in a Quick Fit. I'm not a car guy. Although, chat, I've got a car recently, and I'm trying to, like... I've started becoming the person who's like, ooh, you know, you look at this sign, tells you can actually park there if you want to. It's a new type of, like... I don't know, I really like... I think everyone does. It's kind of the problem that, like, Call of Duty has. Everyone wants to be, like... Feel like they're, like, you know, above average at something, right? Big problem when not everyone is above average at everything that they do. So I'm going to place these grass blocks down. And then... I shouldn't have placed that many grass blocks, actually. I should have placed some dirt. I think that was a mistake. I'll place the rest of the dirt in here. Or grass in here. And then I'll go grab some dirt. And then I'll use my fences, which I have far too much of. Actually, let's take this grass and put it in with there. Perfect. And then we'll go grab some dirt if we can. Actually, you know, if I've got this much grass... No, I've definitely got some dirt up here that I'm going to use to make the sheep pen around. And then I'll use some of my wheat to lure them in. So, real quick, though, it's probably time for another boat salesman special. We fill up our inventory with boats, and we give it to the man who will give me things in exchange for them. It's a delightful process. It's not even cute, just beige mayo in general is so yummy. I got a mustard mayo sandwich today. Mustard mayo is like a weird concept. Every time I have it, though, it's delicious. But yeah, so at first people were like, ooh, something must be wrong with these. But over time, it's grown into like a cultural phenomenon. And now people are like, yeah, I want me some reduced stuff. Like, people used to, like, get aggressive with the Tesco employees. Like, why? Yeah, I know you've got some yellow stickers on there. Give me the early access. I think that a lot of things in life, people will turn into the worst versions of themselves if they think that they can, you know, I think a lot of people lose their humanity when there's a limited amount of something and only so many people can get it. I think it's one of the reasons why we need to have, like, mechanisms, you know, if you want to call it pricing mechanism. I think we need to have some way, you know, rationing mechanism that makes everyone feel like they are treated fairly. Or you get some people who are like, you know what? Let's burn down the entire system so that I can get my slightly reduced sandwich. But yeah, I got a slightly reduced sandwich today, chat. It's got some mustard mayo in. I love packaged sandwiches. It is one of the joys. I think Japan is famous for it, but the UK, we do some great ones. We do some seriously good packaged sandwiches. It's one, we're at the top of our game for it, really. It's not many things you can say that about in the UK, but this certainly is one of them. So I've got my wheat. I'm going to use that wheat to lead the sheep away from where they are, and then I'll silk touch up the dirt and the... Actually, it's too early to move them. I definitely need to build the new pen first and then do that later. So for now, let's throw an egg in that pen, and then let's try and jump in. Chat, you know, it's so tempting to be like, why don't we just jump in there now? It wouldn't even hurt me that bad if it went wrong. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, satisfying. Let's pick up some ice, though. Slowly but surely, this will bring me to a jungle. Also, what's happening now? Oh, I'm just floating. I had Subway for lunch today, so Stealth Wolf 69420. I think Subway has suffered... No, see, this is actually an interesting thing, though. Like, promotions can suffer on their own success. Because the idea of a good promotion should be that it makes someone go somewhere, and then some number of those people should go, yeah, actually, I kind of want something else now that I'm here. The value is just to get me through the door. Or at least that some number of people should buy the thing on the promotion, and then get regularly into the thing. I think Subway messed up on their, like, their $5 footlong so bad, chat. Because to this day, I've never... Like, in the UK, it was a £5 footlong, which is actually... Especially if you're talking about, like, 2008. That's, like, that's a substantial amount more money than $5. But, so, like, you know, that's the closest I've ever enjoyed. So we're going to place fences across here. I guess this is going to be the corner this way, because we need to line it up with the other thing. And also, I'm trapped here now. Oh, no, it's scary. It's scary, chat. I'm scared. Place a fence there, jump over it. Let's go to bed. Did I not just go to bed, chat? Am I like having a hallucinatory episode? I assume I'm not. UK and Japan have a lot of weird similarities, like packaged sandwiches. alcoholism culture, packaged sandwiches, you know, an inherent distrust of their mainland neighbors. The list truly is endless. Once you get down to it, you realize that being an island nation next to a giant landmass, you have to behave differently as a country. Just kind of fundamentally speaking there. Okay, so yeah, I think the $5 footlong screwed over Subway so badly because so many people are just like, that is the price that a footlong is. And so when you see a $7 footlong, you're like, whoa, what's the $2 price increase? And it's like, oh, it was actually always $7. We did it for $5 for a little bit. But a lot of people were like, wow, that's so much more for the same thing. But they just weren't interested. In the UK chat, you can spend £10 on a footlong now. I think it's closer to like 7 or 8 normally. But it's like, you spend a lot of money on a footlong at Subway. But like, what's not even like, it's fresh. That is the whole thing. It's like the vegetables taste pretty fresh. That is the selling point. You know, the meat, the bit that is actually expensive, that like, you have to pay to double up, etc., etc. Not very good. It's fine. It can be pretty good. I used to love the rotisserie chicken. You know, rotisserie chicken sounds better though. Can't believe Subway convinced us at some point. A whole foot of bread, deli meat, cheese, and like half a serving of lettuce was healthy. I still kind of think it is. Like, it's a good healthy vibe meal though, right? And so that's what I was kind of getting at when I was like, oh yeah, America, so good at tricking me specifically. With like, I want something to be really tasty, really delicious, and then also really healthy. And, you know, the number of things that have marketed exactly to my sensibilities in that way, it's incredible. So I'm going to have to kill both these cats, chat. I don't like that I'm going to have to kill the cats, but I do. You didn't see that. It's okay. Now we have to definitely sell them more. I don't know what happened there. I think they threw their bread to the wrong guy. So I'm going to take out this, buy some bread, and just make sure that these guys keep all the bread themselves. Okay, you guys, you're my breeding fellas. You gotta do it with each other. Yeah, throw that at each other, not the guy over there. Please. If you won't make love, then who will? Okay, so right now we're sitting at 8 stacks of ice. We need, like, a lot more. Which is a sign that I should actually place all of this now and then come back for the rest later. But that's okay. I'm still hoping, chat, that we get a new Wandering Trader, and that Wandering Trader does sell me slime balls. If it happens, a lot of problems will go away. I'm just not going to live under the assumption that it will. But instead, I'll make a bunch of... I've got a bunch of slabs. And I guess I'll just place some, like, spruce slabs on top of them. Yeah, let's do that. Let's place some spruce slabs on top of them for now. Just so we can finish our sheep pen. That will already be at the enlarged size that I think it needs to be at. Or I could just leave the slabs at the bottom layer here. Yeah, I think that's not a crazy idea, chat. Okay, so I'm going to place these down. If a creeper comes from behind me right now, I'm a little bit boned. So this needs to be at least another 2 blocks this way. Oh, it's scary, chat. I'll place that block there and this block here. I'll crouch toggle over here. And we'll place some blocks over here also. Oh yeah, this is great. And then we have to do that another time, place our fence on top of it. It feels a little crazy to go straight from this down to there. So I think that's why I do need a slab on top. Just something to sit there and be a filler until I have more dirt, which I can eventually get, but I just don't right now. And then we'll place these over here. And this will make it a 5x5 space if we do this one more time. Which I think is a good amount of space. And we just place fences all the way around. Again, later, if we want to do something down there, we can feel free to. But this should be a lot of space for our sheep to grow, which is nice to know. Okay, so chat, now here's the thing. I have to pick which colors of sheep I want. And so I have to come up with a good like use of the wool that I'm going to get. So white is obviously a lame but easy to dye color. I like the idea of maybe going for like a red and a black one. Or like a blue one. A light blue sheep would be great. A light blue sheep would allow me to make something like igloo themed, but I've already got ice if I want that. If I go for like black, I could go for like light gray and make a big igloo logo, like, or mine glue. Yeah, I like the idea of making a big Minecraft logo, but it says SkyGloo. So that would require like a lot of black sheep and then a lot of gray sheep. Probably too many of both. So instead, what if I got a bunch of light green dye, which I can do thanks to my cactus. Oh yeah, gonna come in amazingly handy cactus. So we'll break the thing again, get that lovely flower from the top, then replant it. Yeah, let's definitely go for some light green dye. 2 green dye plus some white. That should make like 4 lime green dye. Then I'll have a bunch of... I can make myself like a miniature IBX Toycat logo. Because if you've never seen the IBX Toycat logo, weirdly the easiest way for me to show you is right here. It's like, it doesn't use that much green, I guess, but it uses some green, some white, some red, and some brown. So let's get those colors, shall we? So brown, I need like cocoa beans for brown. I don't know that I have cocoa beans, chat. I don't think I have cocoa beans. Is there any other way to get brown? I feel like there must be. Black, I do have, usefully. Let me just check it one more time. So, yeah, it's kind of, I think white, red is definitely the easiest one that I do have. We'll take a poppy, we'll grow a bunch more of them. It'll be good. So let's now take some bones. Let's grow those. And I guess like here is the easiest place to do it. Oh no! It doesn't want to grow on dirt, it wants to grow on grass. So I'm glad I'm doing this first, I guess. Let's jump over here. Let's place a little fence over here. Oh, that's not how that works. Place a little fence over here. And now I should be able to easily turn one poppy into a lot more than one poppy. Easy peasy. Then some of that will make red dye. And then, yeah, do I have anything else I need to grow? Not really, actually. I'll leave the red dye in here, though, or the red poppy in there. Just as a fun piece of decoration. Okay, I think I'm now ready, chat, to bring all my sheep down. Remember to subscribe. Indeed! Brown tulips. Says a Karsh Warrior. No idea if it's a thing or just something my brain just made. See, a Karsh Warrior, you've done something more honest than the vast majority of stream hallucinators. You know, actually, since I say stream hallucinators, because a lot of people will come into these streams and be like, Toycat, you can get gold from a drowned, it just has to be a gilded drowned. You know, it's the meme that we always come up with. Water's so good. Okay, we're gonna grab some bone meal. We're gonna mix it with the green that we have, and we're gonna make 4 lime. Do I need pink, chat, or do I need red? I think I just need red. So we'll take 3 of these and make some, or we'll make 4 of these and make some red dye. Then we'll use 2 more and we'll just breed some bees together. There's 1 bee. Is there a second? There's not. It's a shame you can't place these down on any non-dirt blocks. Come on, fellas. I know there's some of you in there. If you could just come out here and face me, it would be great. I think you can fish for cocoa beans in a jungle. Yeah, I think our brains are really good at hallucinating Minecraft knowledge. Because it's such a deep game. And it feels like you must know it like the back of your hand. Which is where you make mistakes. It's, what is it? The Dunning-Kruger effect. The more you learn about something, the less you realize you actually know. But at the same time, it means that it's really easy to, like, over-approximate your own knowledge. Especially if you, as you know less. So I've got a bunch of snow blocks I can place too. So, oh, there we go. We finally got them, chat. That's 2 bees next to each other. 2B or not 2B? Not a very good question. Honestly, I feel like if I could come all the way back to the start of the stream for a second, chat. You know how I said, like, oh, yeah, sometimes you're inspired by things, you don't even really know what. I think, like, understanding that's okay is useful, or at least understanding that it is a thing that people do. So if you want to avoid it, you know, you can choose to do that too. But I think one of the most interesting examples of this is, like, have you ever hung out with a kid, chat? Have you ever, like, had, like, a baby brother or sister or niece or something? They'll sometimes just say random things. Like, sometimes they'll just drop a skibbity in the middle of a sentence, you'll be like, what could possibly be inspiring you to say that right now? And you'll ask him, they'll be like, I don't know. Just some words I heard that sounded like they'd fit here. I'm, you know, like I guess children are much better at experimentation in that sense. Okay, so chat, we're going to do something crazy now. I'm going to bring all my sheep down. As long as at least 2 of them make it, I don't really mind about the rest. So we're now going to just, like, make everything a little bit prettier here. Because that's one of my big long-term goals for the SkyGloo anyway, right? Is to, as I'm getting more stuff, I can do more stuff with that stuff. So they're all out. Now they should all follow me. And again. So hopefully some of them live, chat. Hopefully some of them live. I don't expect they all will. I just expect that, like, more than a couple will. Okay, so this is really dangerous. This is not the ideal situation for a bunch of sheep. Okay, there goes one. Did he fall just all the way off the edge? I think he did. If I lose more than 2 sheep doing this... Oh, no. There's another one, chat. Okay, so this is 3 sheep left. It's really important they all survive now. Okay, so now we have to break down this fence here. Lure them all inside. And then we'll dye these 2 green. Breed them together. And they'll have a green child. This one really needs to get in there too, but if you want to hang out outside, that's fine. And then we'll dye this one red. And later we'll dye him with one of those. So let's now just get him all trapped in here. Hello, fella. And look at this. Isn't this nice? I've got the starts of what will be a great sheep farm. And it's in the right place to actually later end up doing something. I'm going to monitor the grass here to make sure that it grows correctly and everything. But I've got a good feeling about this one, chat. I've got a good feeling. And the viewers watched as 100% of the sheep fell off. I was a little worried, like, man, this will be a huge loss to my world if that does happen. But then I realized, you know what? Life's too short to care about things that might happen. Only care about the things that do happen. And only after you've let them happen for your negligence. That's what I say. Also, it's great to see you, Cat. Have a good time. Hopefully not a quick fit. Where they apparently sell Swiss rolls. That's the knowledge I've learned from you today. Okay, so I'm going to buy emeralds en masse. And we're going to make more boats. And we're going to get more emeralds. It's crazy the value we get here. It basically is the permission to, if I go into my crafting table and use a resource that I can get a lot of very quickly, I can turn it into emeralds with basically no stress whatsoever. Speaking of no stress, okay, I'm going to take another one of these, make another 2 of these. Speaking of no stress, chat, today is the day. It's a big one for me. I can finally go into this fella here, and I can buy myself a Diamond Projectile Protection 2 helmet. Woo! Look at that. Look at how much more protection this is, chat. From chainmail to diamond. Oh yeah, that's a whole 4% protection. A whopping 4%. You hear that correctly here, chat? 4%. Oh yeah. From having basically nothing there to having the best material in the game for a helmet. 4% difference. Very, very silly. But, you know, if I get hit by something that doesn't kill me immediately, as is unlikely but possible, I'm going to feel real smart about that one. Okay, so I think it's time to place all of the ice I have. I think it's time to just go on a big expedition. It's early in the day, and I need to do it in multiple inventories anyway. So let's just go out there with this, plus all the stuff we mine right now. Let's just go as far out as we can, so that we can do the rest of it in one big slice. I'm not going to ride my boat back this time. You'll be pleased to learn. But that does mean it's going to take me a good little bit. Minecraft in support of wool gene color mutation to achieve the sheep they want. Wool gene color mutation. Anyway, diamond armor good. Diamond armor good is what everyone will tell you. Let's see if they've got any truth to their story. So I'm going to check my my controller. Oh, I don't know what I just did, chat. I launched Steam Big Picture mode, apparently. Oh, no, I don't want to be in here. Okay. So I'm going to now quickly check my battery percent. I don't know where you even do that. There it is. Okay. My battery is high, apparently, so I'm not going to die by doing this. Mojang should add Ender Pearl chunk loaders to Bedrock. Yeah, I don't see why they shouldn't. It's a fun suggestion that it's a fun suggestion you've turned into a question. But you're free to do that, I guess. How baby sheep come out green, even if parent not genetically changed to green. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now it's all I can think about. I wish I could continue not to. You know, yeah, that makes... that's such a funny... I mean, I think a lot about how humans are the product of not just our genes, but our environment. Like, I think... I'm always surprised when I learn that you get some things directly from your parents. Because so much of... You know, if you think about it, if you believe that you are a free person, you still have to concede that you are altered by your environment. But you'd also concede that you get to... I have to be really careful that I don't run past the edge of this. You would also concede that you are able to change your environment. So earlier today I decided to be in a pizza restaurant because I like pizza. You know, therefore I will like pizza more because I'm in pizza environments more. I spend a lot of time around pizza ovens, chat, because I like good pizza that way. Therefore I will like good pizza more. You know, it's like a self-fulfilling loop that at least I'm beginning. Whereas there's kind of a like, DNA can't tell us what we can and cannot do. Exactly, General Delogu. That's my real thought there. Like I think it's depressing once you realize how much of your body. Also, what is happening? Are you seeing this, chat? It feels like something's shaking uncontrollably. It's probably just me. Baby sheep is not genetically green. It just adheres to the social norms. Yeah, I think that's a really powerful thing about humans. Like, I'm fully willing to concede that... I guess, to put it this way, right? Like, if you look at societies everywhere, you know, if we simplify people's, like, political positions down to, you know, liberal or progressive and conservative, right? Like, we say, like, there are people who want to progress or that feel like, you know, we should loosen up social norms. There are people who want to remove laws, and there are people who want to add laws. There are people who believe that we don't have enough rules governing our conduct. There are people who believe we have too many rules governing our conduct. And what's interesting, though, is, like, those aren't positions we don't come up with those positions by looking at the world around us. People are just naturally predispositions to those. And so, like, in the 90s, there were, you know, like, or, you know, in the 60s, there was a big movement to, like, let women work, let women be in control of their reproductive system. In the 90s, it was, like, you know, a big movement for, like, I don't know, like, you know, let me pick a simple one here. Like, you know, like, gay marriage was a big legal movement. Then in, like, the 2020s, I would say, like, you know, we're getting that way on, like, a few different issues. The trans one's an obvious one to bring up, but also, like, I would say, like, weed legalization. More and more countries and American states and cities and are like trying it out and saying, yeah, let's do that. I think Germany, if I'm not mistaken, I think Germany just legalized weed. I might be really mixing that up, but I'm fairly certain a big EU country just legalized it. Also, this is such an interesting... Oh, because I'm playing this after 121-100, chat. You can see the before and after. Look how sad it looks. No, I want to be more immune to Minecraft updates. Oh no, it's terrible. It's so bad. People said this was okay. People said I was being dramatic. They ruined the biome, chat. I hate it. Anyway, yeah, but yeah, a lot of people believe that, like, everything in life is like, you know, like, I think that as we go through all of these different, you know, movements of different forms, a lot of people believe, like, oh yeah, but, like, this is because I'm, like, looking at the issue and it's like, nah, actually, I feel like there is a continuous revolving collection of issues that we're having to work out as a society. Like, some people believe on the conservative side that, like, oh, yeah, well, if we look at all, you know, like, there's, like, types of conservatives who believe that, like, yeah, well, you know, like, you know, we were kind of wrong to go that far on the trans thing. We were wrong to go that far on the gay marriage thing. Some people, you know, some conservatives go, like, you know, all of the problems we have in society started because we invented, you know, the pill, the female birth control, and made it widely available. Some people go a step further and say it's because we allowed women the right to vote. Some people go a step further and say, like, it's because we allowed people who didn't own land the right to vote. And you can continuously do this. But also there's the other side where there's people who are like, yeah, actually, I think that 5-year-olds should be allowed to vote. And I've heard really compelling cases for why, like, I think that any case for why a 5-year-old shouldn't be able to vote is a case for why, like, you know, like a 19-year-old might not be able to vote. I don't agree with it, but I also say that, like, actually, I'm just picking a vibe line in the sand when I say that one of those things is right and the others is not. I'm going to max up my render distance real quick, by the way. I just want to see if I can see the jungle from the end of this. That would make me feel great. So we're going to max it out. It's going to be a little bit laggy because we're streaming and we're recording and everything, chat. So if everyone just accepts that together, let's see what that creates. Okay. Okay. I have to make sure I'm still crouched. And if I look up, things will get bad. So we'll just keep looking down until we absolutely don't need to. This lag might kill me. Legitimately, chat. No, man, weed isn't addicted. I'm just anxious about it, and it gives me my appetite, and I can't stop thinking about the next time I'm smoking it. Yeah, it's an interesting case, because we spent so long teaching people about addiction via, like, you know, like, physiological addiction. Though we never taught a whole generation of people about psychological addiction. And, like, that's not just useful for weed, but, like, I think a lot of people go quite deep down that rabbit hole. But I also think it's useful for knowing about, like, phone addiction. There's nothing physiologically addicting about your phone. It's quite the opposite. It's, like, unwieldy. But the fact that you have the unlimited social internet on there, I do think that we're going to see phones in their unrestricted state like we have right now as being a bit like gambling. The number of people you can speak to, chat, it's like really depressing, like going out with someone and they just look sad anytime they're not on their phone. And it's like, well, you know, you can't force them. You know, like, there's nothing you can do about that. Like, there's a lot of people for whom it's like, well, this conversation hasn't been interesting for 5 seconds. I don't want to do this anymore. But my point is, like, yeah, we're always picking new lines in the sand to fight over. And, you know, there's a position of every argument. You know, and the reason I think that's interesting is because it's, like, easy to believe that, like, oh, yeah, actually, what's happening right now is this special one-time thing. Like, the number of people I'm a big... It's like the weirdest belief to have. I'm a big believer that America can't mess itself up that badly. America is quite immune from a lot of the poor governance problems that can strike other countries. If you look at, like, freedom indexes and democracy indexes, the US never scores particularly highly. And a lot of people think, like, well, you know, and that's a sign that we're going down the toilet. And it's like, no, it's like you just don't need those things to be a successful country. It's always my deep belief. And so when you look at, like, a bad president that some people believe, one of the last 2 presidents, 90% of you know, people believe was bad, right? And people are like, yeah, this is a unique situation right now. We're heading towards this disastrous thing that is unique and only happening right now. It's like, yeah, you don't understand. And it's like, nah. I think the whole world is configured to make you think that now is the most unique time around, but actually we're going through this shared collective experience together over and over again. Also, fun fact, medical weed is legal in the UK, just near impossible to get privately. Oh yeah, or to get not privately. I think even privately it's really tricky to get. It's funny because the UK, I think, is the biggest exporter of cannabis in the world. So we're like, weed for thee, but not for me. So which way is it, chat? I don't know how. I guess it would be that way, I think. Do you see a jungle biome, chat? I don't see a jungle biome. I should have brought a bed out here with me, really. Oh, I can see my igloo from here. That means that I'm not far enough away yet, which is useful to know. So I'm just going to place a few more of these blocks. But yeah, we've gone a full 1,000 out. I'll remember 1,000 as my endpoint, chat, and then I'll start crouching from there next time. It's a useful amount to know. But yeah, next time I come out here, I can just bring way more. And I'll make myself a proper... Oh, I don't want to do this with lag. I'm going to turn down that render distance. As beautiful as it is, chat. I don't want to play with it that high. And now we'll just do some sprint jumping on the way back. It's fairly safe to sprint jump, I think. We'll find out if I die, I guess. Every time I join the stream, I'm scared to death that it includes a reason why Toycat died. Larry Nannery, don't you worry. I haven't died yet, and I don't intend to. 160 days survived. Again, this is my longest hardcore world on the Bedrock version of the game. Probably, like, I'm thinking my longest legit hardcore world, like, in terms of, like, one that I haven't died on in hard while I've been aiming for it to be hardcore. And I don't think I've ever played a Java world longer. So I think this is my longest running hardcore world. Which is kind of crazy to think about, really, isn't it? Since you can't go down anyway, why not trash the landscape? But yeah, so yeah, that's a funny point with flying machine that spreads water. I could drop TNT off the side just for fun, you're right. No, sand is really hard to get, so we'd have to use water or something annoying, you're right. I do like the idea of ruining the view down there. Once we get lava and the ability to farm it, we might as well just make, like, what are they called? Like, cobblestone casts? We can make really ugly, like, giant stone structures. Just to make the view prettier. I do certainly like that idea a lot. It's true. I think online safety wouldn't be a problem if parents would care more about online safety. Oh, yeah, so now that's... Okay, this is one of my favorite continual issues, too. That, again, I just... It's kind of sad to realize the world is repeating itself, but it's also handy because it means you don't have to, like, spend your whole time on it. I think, like, we love having the same argument again and again, because when you have a new argument, you have to pick your side from scratch. But yeah, like, one of the biggest arguments, the meta arguments we're having, is how much of raising your child is your responsibility, how much of raising a child is the government's responsibility, or rather, collectively, every other person's. And it's, like, kind of messy, because if it's all your responsibility, then the best parents will have the best children, statistically, and then they will go on, then their offspring gets to succeed more in the world. That's not very fair. If the government raises everyone's children, then, like, you know, they're gonna mess up statistically, that is... Or, you know, if we collectively raise your children, we're gonna make decisions that you might not like making. And that's kind of messed up in its own right, too, right? What do we do about that? So I'm going to try and breed these two together. It's a 50-50 which color we get. It might go brown, though, too, right? Nope, green. Well, that's fine, I guess. We could just dye one of these babies red, right? I don't need to yet, though. We'll just... The grass is lasting. We'll see if that continues. Okay, so... Lava casts. Yeah, I like the idea of making some lava casts. I think it's silly to need to ID everyone for everything, especially because kids already steal parents' IDs for freaking Roblox chat. I think that if you're a big corporation, having to ID people is it becomes immediately everyone else's problem, right? It's like, well, if the kids steal the parents' ID, that's a sign the parents doing poorly, and it kind of lets the really poor parents off. Like the bottom mid parents are the ones that really get helped by it. You know, the ones that are like, look, I give my child food and water, and they haven't been abducted by social services yet. The way oh my god! The way I see it, that's a win. I think it's those parents who benefit the most from, like, mandatory things. Like, I used to be really anti-child seat. Like, the number of, like, cars I wouldn't have been able to get in as a child if child seats were required would suck. I think like it's I think there's lots of things where we put in, like, really nice rules without thinking about how it's actually gonna, like, affect people. Because we like to just imagine, like, oh yeah, the response that people will have to being told they need to be more responsible is they will be more responsible. Ooh, that is the easy solution. If only we had thought about this before, we could save so many lives. But obviously, a bit different. So, like Toycat's realm experiments, all of them always end up covered in lava and cobblestone. Yeah, it's gonna look like a Toycat realm experiment if I do this right. So they're still not breeding, chat. It could be that there aren't enough beds, but I think we'll just give them all more bread. Yeah, like, it's easy to get. And if there's any two villagers close enough together, they might just end up breeding. So yeah, they can all be well fed. They'll hold on to the bread, worst case, right? So it's not, we're not losing any value that way. And isn't that just wonderful? So let's now take this boat. Can't sell the boat yet. So instead, we need to now get that last burst of ice. That last little burst. And we need to go do this. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, chat, actually, now that I think about it, if my coordinates were reversed, you know, let me just go get the correct coordinates. Let me make sure I know where these are. So is it on this? Okay, so we're gonna stand right here, chat, in the least dangerous way possible. And I'm gonna check what my I'm gonna quickly just check that we're doing this right. Okay, so I am gonna stand here. I'm hoping that while it's this cold, not only do we get everything covered in snow, but also the ice should form more easily.
My son, Grayson, wants nothing for his birthday, but I know a shout out from you would make his day.
Hey! Oh, you know, below, I want to say, your son, Grayson, by the way, loving the name. I just know you're a Grayson. You're going to be a great, you know, I can't work that. But Grayson, thank you for watching the streams. I am massively appreciative of that fact. I hope that you believe in my ability to make it to 200 days in hardcore, because we're doing it. Despite starting above the clouds, we're building a giant igloo. We're getting some good stuff done. And Billow, what a lovely gift to get for Grayson. Yeah, what a wholesome little tip. What a nice little boost to my day, gotta say. So floating igloo seed. Okay, so I survived hardcore of the floating igloo. This seed's okay. There we go. In the description, the best seeds of 2024. It's -84761. Blah, blah, blah. Wait, is that the seed? -84, -847. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. So we're just gonna make sure. We're absolutely gonna make sure where this one's going, chat. No, I copied it wrong. Also, Minecraft just released the claims adjuster add-on, and I don't know if it's a joke. Okay. So then we have to. Where is it? Okay, it's over here. It's very scary to spend this long AFK. Chat, gotta say. Okay. So then we just search for the jungle. Okay. Nearest jungle is at X1100, Z2500. So just to be clear, when I'm going this way, am I somehow still going the wrong way? Oh no, chat. Oh no. No, that can't be true. How have I done this twice in a row? That can't... How does that happen, chat? There is one at -3600. 1100. But I'm sure from what I have, it's faster to go to X1100, Z2200. So that should be... Oh, so that means I go this way and then I take a left at 2200. Where is my current left? It's at about 4000. Chat, I placed 1,000 blocks. I think it's in the wrong direction. My daughter is Gracie. Close enough. You know what? Really, you kind of messed that one up, Adansoni. It should be Grey Daughter, if you want to really get the female version of Grey Son. But, you know, great job anyway. You tried your best, and that's what matters sometimes, you know. Okay, now we're going to grab the rest of these slabs. It's spooky how much... Oh, there's so much snow here, chat. Oh, it's super thick snow. We could make a big, like, snow field. Like, just a bunch of blocks that are deliberately there to catch snow. Because right now, that is my best way of getting it. Yeah, it might not be a terrible idea. For now, though, let's break our ice. Classic Toy Cat. 0 for 2 when there's 4 choices, says Taylor Davis. You ever heard the phrase, measure twice, cut once? I'm a big believer in cut 3 times, measure only if it doesn't work. And, but yeah, it's worth mentioning. Okay, so if I go the way that I'm going, chat, let's try and turn this into a positive. This is what I do in a lot of my life. When you make a horrible mistake, no, you didn't. I think that's what people say for shoplifters. But if you're gonna let people off for, you know, like you know, stealing, you know, like if you can let people off for that, you can let yourself off for your stupidest mistakes too. And so let's work out where we can go in the negative. Is it negative X direction? It's negative Z direction, chat. So in the negative Z direction, oh, it's up to get to negative Z. Oh, there's a jungle at like 600, 700, chat. There's a jungle like... This can't be the right seed. Okay, oh, it's fine, it's fine. I must have just made a mistake. I'll make sure it's... Yeah, there's a jungle at like 600, 700. I should be able to see that. In this direction, that would be within 96 chunks of render distance. I don't think that it's going to be there. But tomorrow we'll turn up the render distance and we'll see, chat. Yeah, there's no way it's out there. This is going to be an incorrect... Yeah, this is the incorrect seed or something. Does it know that I'm spawning on an igloo? If it doesn't know I'm spawning on an igloo, it's the wrong seed. Okay, yeah, I've typed in something wrong here somewhere. Or maybe this seed isn't the same anymore, actually. Chat, for some reason a lot of seeds are slightly broken. Like the seed for spawning in a cave doesn't work quite anymore. Oh, by the way, that was like one of the weirdest things is like I used to be like real big on like, okay, let's make sure people know the seeds so they can type this stuff in. The number of people who like watch seed videos but don't really care what the seeds are. Mind-boggling, but also like yeah, the fact that I haven't had a single comment mentioning like, oh yeah, you don't spawn in the cave, you spawn like a bit away and you have to walk now because Minecraft changed spawn positions in a recent Bedrock update. Hugely interesting. Like the number of people who would like comment because like, oh yeah, Soy Cat, this, you know, like this seed from 2016 doesn't work anymore. But like when it's really obvious that something, I feel like there's a downgrade in the quality of the internet because people don't care. It's an upgrade for content creators, I'm sure. It's nice to be me and have no one care about, you know, like certain fundamental mistakes. It's still a disappointment. Okay, so I've got plenty of white and plenty of yellow. Let's now put our lime and our red wool in there. Just so we got the little piles building up. I guess they should go one above this because this is where my logs are going to go. And then otherwise, we'll put our ice in a big pile there. Yeah, chat, I'm looking at the wrong seed. It's an embarrassing mistake to make, but I'm going to stick with it. Okay, there and there. Then replace these two piles. And once I've got a full stack of that times 3, I'll be able to go good to go. If you build ever-expanding circles around your base, you'll get there eventually. Hey man, I just like looking at them. Leave me alone. Also, to be fair, I was 16 picking the name. Learn from the missed mistake over here. Name them Grey Daughter. Yeah, they're gonna go to school, or they're gonna go to, you know, like, I don't know, church. And it's gonna be like, wait, Grey C? Is that like grey and then Spanish word for yes? What's that meant to mean? If people are commenting about the seed not working, that's more engagement for your channel. Oh, yes, so many people have worked out that if people hate something, they'll, like, the concept of rage bait has hit new levels recently. It's just one of the most successful ways now for a lot of people, and platforms are, like, feeding that. And I think it's one of the biggest mistakes social media platforms are making right now. It's like a trick that works really well once, but eventually starts working really terribly. But that's just my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to place a bunch of snow now. I'm sitting here waiting for the snow to go. And so what better to do than to place some snow? I think this side of the snow glue is probably where it's going to be best at. Just make it, ooh, one nice big high block. And that will let some darkness in, for sure. Oh, so, ooh, we've got to place these blocks first. It'll let some darkness in the night, but it'll be great during the day. Plus 2,000, minus 880 is a jungle on the igloo seed. Is that not where you were going? You know what? That must be where I was going. You're right, M. Thank you very much. What I want to hear is I'm actually doing this correct, and I just made a mistake with checking. I measured twice. No, I measured 3 times, and I've cut twice, and I've got to measure less. That's what I think we need to take from this. Oh, what a silly mistake I made. Almost started measuring there again. Almost measured myself into a corner. But thankfully, I won't let that mistake happen anymore. But yeah, eventually, if I just keep going in different directions, eventually I'll find it, right? You know, that's the natural version of exploration that I think is important, and I'm glad we're getting to live it. So now, this guy can buy flint from me, but flint isn't worth getting. This guy, the best thing to do, chat, I think, is to continue to buy swords. And if I do that, I can get an axe. But that's not even that good. I think I'm just gonna leave this guy be. I wanna love this guy. He doesn't wanna love me. This is as maxed out as it needs to be. This person can give me some books. Yeah, it's expensive to buy books, but I think a worthwhile investment in the long run. So we could buy some bookshelves, and that would unlock something. It would unlock the ability to get lanterns, whereas my villager I have bought from, I'm not going to buy that many Silk Touch books, and if I did, they would be expensive. So is 1 emerald lanterns a worthwhile trade, chat? I'm going to buy... No, I'm not going to make that decision yet. I'm going to keep waiting until I see something that like really locks it in. Because just a reminder, I'm still trying, you know, failing horribly. But I'm still trying to get my villagers to breed so I can do stuff over there. So once I'm going to make an inventory for the boats. Because the ones we don't sell today, we will sell tomorrow. And then we're going to sell those. We're going to go chop down our ice. So that means I need to get 2,000 more ice blocks. I think I'm starting to regret this decision. I guess I could just go 1,000 ice blocks that way and then make the rest out of slabs. That's probably the right call, if I'm being honest with myself. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, chat. I'm gonna bring some beds. I'm gonna bring some slabs. I'm gonna bring all the stuff. We're gonna make this work. So I'll do one last big shearing of the ice sheet. Because, you know, it'll be nice to have. And then we're gonna start going this way, which is positive X. So chat, I'm just gonna trust chat blindly here, because my own measuring is going horribly. If I have kids, they're not learning about sugar on the internet till they're 18. Also, maybe some dumb like paint wool. Dumb like paint. Wools just come in different colors. Yeah, I like the idea that you can gaslight a child into believing that it is missing very basic parts of the world. I like how streaming services are just becoming cable again with the non-stop ads. Speaking of non-stop ads, have you considered buying McDonald's? They're running a 20% off promotion right now. It's only available if you use code TOYCAT. No, I need to, it's important, chat. Today's video references Minecraft Xbox One, but I didn't leave a link for it. So I need to go and do that now. So we're gonna stare at the ice field while it regenerates. It's kind of a shame that I can't leave Minecraft running and then do something in a separate tab correctly. So we need to log into Amazon. And yeah, this is wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing. Okay, that's not the right account. I made the biggest mistake years ago and ended up with 2 different Amazon accounts. Chat. And the benefit is the one that is linked to my like public persona got hacked, and at least that meant that all of my personal stuff didn't. But the downside is it means that every time I want to do something, I've got to like continuously log out and in until I get the right one. Okay, so now I can go into here and I can use this as my link. Okie dokie. So this is... I have to put it in today's video chat. It's really important. I made a mistake and I have to fix that mistake as quickly as possible. So... Minecraft, Xbox. And then we'll link Minecraft, Nintendo Switch. Actually, I should really just... Okay, you know. I worked something out in today's video chat that I wanted to share. I worked out that basically if you buy an Xbox version of Minecraft, they give you a number of Minecoins equivalent to your purchase, basically. So you just get a free disc that contains Minecraft. And so I worked out, like, why am I not just buying 10 copies of Minecraft? Because I go for a lot of coins, like, doing reviews, because I like to actually buy things. Why was I not, like, doing that already? Also, Jira! Good to see you, Jira. You butcher my jokes. You write your jokes incorrectly. Write a better joke now, Chantal. And I'll do a great one. But yeah, with that said, we're gonna get a big we're gonna get a few pig steps now, chat. Because Tom, I believe it's pronounced Tom Hermagic. But Tom Hermagic Tom H Magic has just dropped 50 gifted memberships. Wow, that is a lot. I think it has been like a good year since we've seen that many dropped gift memberships. We're about to do a big member drive, so it's like a fun little part of that, I guess. Thank you very much, Tom. I'm going to assume that you are together with Jura. You've had a few drinks in a Liverpool environment right now, and I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to be the beneficiary of that. Honestly, you know, random acts of generosity. Also, that's 250 euros. Yeah, assuming that they did it on their PC, that would be like, you know, 180 after YouTube's cut. Assuming they did it on a phone, that's still like 120, 130 quid. Just a little Christmas bonus for your boy. What's that? It's not Christmas. Still gets a Christmas bonus. What an incredible day for me. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, so now what we're going to do, chat, is we're going to just decide to do this on foot. Because we're going out in a new direction anyway, so the ice path isn't going to be the most useful thing. Yeah, I think that's how we're going to do it. We're going to put away our spruce boats. I'm going to put away my ice even. Check out Tom Hermagic. Amazing. Music track's gonna be awesome for a while now. We usually cut it off after a certain amount of time, right? There's a point where you say like, okay, we enjoyed it, and now we have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for 50 gifted memberships. That's got to be like the majority of people active in chat right now, which is why it pays to stay. You know, if anyone's chatted in the last several streams, you know why it pays to be a member of the community. Because now you get to watch Toy Cat Baby and Iron Brew for free. What's not to love? No drinks, not until Saturday. Oh, I can't believe I'm wrong about that. A random act of generosity while sober is even higher than that. Also, showing Jura up with that one. Yeah, right. Can't believe he only gifted one member. There is also I shall remain grey. Pout, do you have the setting turned off on your account? Because you chat so much. You definitely would have been picked. If you don't, if you're literally, you know, are you like legally a child as far as YouTube is concerned or something? Okay, so now I'm going to chop down trees. And then, curious if XP bonus will impact who gets it. Yeah, I think XP is the same system that is used just now. Like, you know, it's the same actions, just a different part of it. I think I may have lost the 25% lucky draw. I mean, yeah, 200 viewers, 50 gifted members, but it's even better than that because out of the, how many people exactly? Oh yeah, 202 people here. Out of the 202 people, maybe 10% were already members. We do have, what's the number? 378 channel members. So we have 378 channel members, right? I have the setting on. I got picked once a few years ago. You know what, Pout? It sounds like you should pick yourself to be a lucky winner. Yeah, I'm glad to have a subscription to watch a man bathe in Iron Brew. What more do you need, right? I think I lost the 25%. Yeah, but yeah, so the 25% thing is interesting because it's actually way closer to like 50%. Because some number of people have like child accounts or accounts that are in regions like Russia where they're not eligible for gifted memberships. And so as a result, if you didn't get a membership then, it's a sign you need to get one now, chat. It's a sign you need to get one now. But yeah, chat, isn't that crazy? What am I gonna do with my 120 quid? Chat, how many lobster rolls do I buy? That's the question, right? How many lobster rolls do I immediately go out and get? In fact, actually, do you think I should I use this to buy some copies of Minecraft Xbox Series X, chat? I was just talking about, like, you know, I think I should just buy a bunch of these discs. I think that it's only fair that because Tom Hermagic got his money from Minecraft, that I get his money from Minecraft, and then I use that money to go right back to Minecraft. I think this is how the economy works, right? Is it only works if I buy a bunch of copies? So, yeah, we'll work out after the buy me a drink. You know, okay, I'll buy you a drink. And then you better get the bartender to go buy my Minecraft map. And then I'll get the people working on, you know, or my Minecraft add-on or whatever. You don't know my Minecraft map. They should go buy my my very first Minecraft map. Also, I've got 2 chickens just hanging around here. Feels like I should do something with that. But yeah, and then I'll get the people who work on my Minecraft map to go and buy Minecraft on the Switch. And then we'll get the Nintendo developers to buy you a pony. And then we'll get the people working at the pony. We'll make the economy spin this way. Also, that's a lot of silly hats, says Gon Sumir. I went on Temu today, chat. I've heard it's controversial. Honestly, I think controversial for the wrong reasons. I think that people have this real distrust of cheap stuff, and they you know, like, I feel like we're too willing to believe that something is evil because it is cheap. You know, it's an easy, what is it, like a logical fallacy that, like, yeah, it's the same reason why pasta has to cost 80p if you have enough money. It's because, like, oh, well, the 40p pasta might not be as good. My butler Jeeves might not be able to stir it as well. And then what would happen to my pasta? I'd have less stirred pasta. How ridiculous. So I feel like, so I went on Temu today, chat. I generally don't, like, I think I'm lucky to be at a point where, like, buying a bunch of tat just doesn't add any joy to my life. Maybe that's not a point, and maybe that's, like, a point everyone's at. But anyway, yeah, I went on Temu and I was amazed because if you've ever heard, oh wow, it's cheap as, like, a negative, you might not realize just how, like, manipulatively cheap it is. Like, it's designed like a slot machine to make you think that you're saving money at all times. And so there's just so many flashy animations on the screen. There's so much happening to make you think, like, whoa, look what a good deal I'm getting. Look, it's so flashy, and they're telling me that if I can just guess where the egg is, I'll get 100 free, you know, I'll get £100 off in discounts. And wow, I guessed where the egg was because it was really easy. Although actually, I guessed where the egg was incorrectly and it still gave me the hundreds off. It was like, you know, we'll give you another try to try and get it. Oh, you got it on the second try. Wasn't that nice? Wait, people actually use Temu? No, so many people use Temu. It is wildly popular as a website. And I think that's because, again, kind of the proof of, like, for a large percent of people, understandably so, the number one factor on whether you're going to buy something is, like, is it fine and affordable? Fine and affordable is a much more enticing sales pitch than good but expensive, I think, at least. But, yeah, so I've now got myself all of these spruce logs. Some of them can be turned into boats, but a lot of these are going to be used to make my big slab path that's going to go all the way out. So, Soy Cat, you should tell a homeless man that was a victim of a house fire that was his fault, because greater than 99% of house fires have people not subscribe to the IBX Toy Cat YouTube channel. Yeah, you understand it, Prepared Foil 948. Greater than 99% of house fires do happen to people not subscribed to the IBX Toy Cat YouTube channel, and there's only one way to prevent them, and it's not subscribing, let me tell you that much. So now we'll get some spruce slabs out, because I'm clearly going to use them. Then let's make some snow blocks. Tomorrow has to be a very focused and effective day, so I'm going to do my best to make sure that it is one. And we have to also be very careful about what we bring and don't bring. Because I'm getting there, chat. I'm getting to this biome, and weird things are going to happen once I do get there. So then I need the grass. I definitely am going to want some logs, but I've got that covered. I want a bell. A bell is a weird item, but I do need one, chat. I think I'm keeping my bell over here. Let's pick it up. You know, we can just do this in the morning. It's fine. I definitely want a belt. Do you know if any of your fans who had house fires? Oh, one of my subscribers did. I had a subscriber from Florida called Casey. I think they were an interesting example of like I mentioned a lot about the idea that like some people every now and then someone who is like 35 comes into the stream and they've got like the emotional and reading intelligence of like an 8-year-old. It's really interesting. Sometimes the reverse happens where like someone is like, I am only 14, but here is my view on, you know, like physics, whatever, you know, I think it's interesting to like see how that happens sometimes. But I also so they were like someone who like started like randomly chatting when they were like 14. They were here for like a few years, and then I presume they've gone off to be an adult. They've left the Minecraft ecosystem, or at least the YouTube livestream ecosystem, and they had a house fire, or maybe you have to it takes until you're at least about like 16, 17, 18 till you decide that lying is dumb and like why are we doing this all the time. It could be that their big elaborate lie was that they had a house fire and they weren't actually, you know, like 14. It's just like, you know, when I was 5 and I had to draw a Digimon to send into the magazine so they'd share it. I was like, they're not gonna put my picture in there if they think I'm 5. It's not good for a 5-year-old, but it's great for a 3-year-old, and so that's what I sent it off as. Maybe they're like, you know, as a 25-year-old, I don't have a lot to say, but I'd be a real smart 14-year-old. That's my logic. Also, we're gonna grab like a bunch of wool, so we can make a bunch of beds along the way. Should they be yellow beds? Sure, why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Let's do this, chat. We're going on a journey, and that journey ends in a jungle. I built enough of my ice path that I feel fairly good about how things are going. That makes 2 subscribers. I lost my apartment in the LA wildfires this year. It's fine though, life is back to normal. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, first of all. You say life is back to normal, but I think there's something, like, your home being messed with is something that is no small downside. Like, there is a huge emotional upheaval to losing everything you've ever known. That, you know, should not be understated. So if I need a panda, by the way, I think I might need to go fishing while I'm there. I'm going to bring water and a fishing rod anyway. I have my fishing rod, and I've got some ice. I guess bringing ice is like bringing water. Yeah, we'll bring a stack of ice with us. Oh, another wandering trader. Okay, if he gives me slimes now, after all this final prep I've done, he's not. He's offering me a jungle sapling, which I don't currently have, actually, which is fun. I could bring that with me and plant one there. Yeah, I'll bring a jungle sapling. That seems like fun. We're going to buy the oak logs because it just makes sense to at all times. And the efficiency iron pickaxe is a no-go. But the blue orchid, oh, I was just looking for these. I'll buy a few blue orchids, sure. And yeah, that was a successful wandering trader. It doesn't change anything I'm doing, but it does make me feel better about all of it. So then we put that in this corner here and move that to that corner there. I'm not bringing the goat horn with me. I'm not bringing the saddle with me, although I might get a horse spawn there, right? And do I bring some wheat seeds to breed some chickens or something? Seems like a good idea right now. Might not seem like a good idea when I'm there, though. Then we'll just put away the oak that I just got. And I guess we're going to do this, chat. What is this? I don't know. It's a scary new world we're heading into. I feel like I should just bring some blocks, you know. Like, what if I bring a stack of cobblestone? What else do I need to bring with me? Some more food? Okay, that's an easy one to forget about. Let's grab it. 62 food, great. Definitely want some more food. Didn't know you could catch pandas fishing. Is it a gilded rod? Exactly. I'm going to catch myself a real good panda. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to bring some ice. Not 2 stacks. Not even 1 stack. Just 4. I don't even need 4. That's enough to make a couple of ponds. Whew. Yeah, people already think I'm 18 to 21 based on what I look like, and I'm 31. Yeah, Rose, that sounds like you could really advance people by being like on the internet. Yeah, I'm 11 years old. I'm just really smart for my age. You know, that's my technique. Chat, I don't know if you know this, but I have a weird genetic condition where I'm actually 11. I'm just really smart for an 11-year-old. Don't let anyone convince you that's not true. So this is a smite 3 axe. This is a smite 4 axe. This is another smite 3 axe. Let's combine the axes before we go. Nah, who's to say what that does for me? Maybe something useful. Unrelated question, but have you ever thought about learning another language? Bueno, si, no. There's definitely something I'm missing, chat. I was prepared, and now I am unprepared. I've got wheat. I've got my pile of grass blocks. What more could I need? I'll find out once I get there, and am missing it, apparently. Some cactuses to grow? No. Some extra grass blocks? Hopefully not. Yeah, we'll work it all out later. Once I'm back and it's already far too late. I could bring some carrots and I could hoe them and that could be like a source of food. We'll see how this goes. As it goes, I think. Horse plus ice path, what could go wrong? I see. Leads? Oh, yeah, the leads. Thank God. That is the most important thing I'm missing. I need a way to bring the panda back with me. And a lead is one of the easiest ways. So that is 2 leads. Just in case I, on the off chance, need more. I've been storing quite the collection, I assume. I assume incorrectly. There we go. 2 more. So I'll just grab 4. That's a decent number. Okay, chat. Today, I've finished my ice path. Now we must work on the spruce path. A furnace? Why would I need a furnace? Your survival world is older than you. You must be a really smart 11-year-old. Exact. I am the smartest 11-year-old. I've managed to... Oh, so I almost just walked down there, chat. It would have just been GG. Would have just been over. Would have been silly. I am the smartest 11-year-old anyone knows, myself included. But I don't know a lot of smart 11-year-olds because I am just 11 years old. Okay, so I'm being told I look about 30. I'm 52. I assist to reply with, well, you don't see wrinkled balloons. Wait, you don't see wrinkled balloons? I see wrinkled balloons all the time. Oh, you're saying they pop? Are you saying you're going to pop one day? Like, would happen to a balloon? Okay, so we're going to go this way, and then we go about 2,000 blocks right. And then we should find a jungle, chat. If we don't, it is a personal failure of mine. I am willing to concede. This is super spooky, though. Again, if I fall below Y200, over, chat. If I die, 163 hardcore days. They're gone with it. It's spooky, it's nuts. But what are we gonna do about it, I guess? Okay, okay. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so once we hit 1,000, that's where we gotta stop. And that's where we start heading right. I haven't placed enough blocks for me to actually feel confident doing that, though. So how do I do that? I could, like... Yeah, I'm really worried it'll spawn me in the middle of the air, chat. How do I make sure that it doesn't? Okay, if I just go slightly back and then forwards on the right here, I should eventually be able to place the slab off the path. I'm definitely, like, making up an issue for myself at this point. Okay, how do I want to, like, precisely place... You know, I'm just going to get out. The boat can't spawn me in midair, right? That wouldn't be fair. The boat has to spawn me on the path, and it does, thankfully. Although I could use some more ice to, like, place around here. But at 1,000 blocks, this is where we'll place our extra stuff. It should be bottom slabs, really, so that's what we'll do for the most part. Bottom slabs all around, except for these blocks, because they're going to be my pathways going either way. And then, so this will be my nice little area that is big enough to make me feel secure in. Okay, and then now we go this way, chat. I have to go this way quite some while. Okay, I'm going to have to make a Crafting table. I'm going to have to make a bed, my very first bed, if I can. And then I'm going to have to make a ton of slabs. Too many slabs. Too many slabs. Too many slabs. Too many slabs. I've got a shovel that is going to be not worthwhile keeping. So I'm going to drop that on the ground right now. Then I'm going to... I don't have any torches. Oh, no, I've got a bunch of torches. Then I'm going to place... I think a torch will be fine over here. I think it won't melt the ice. If it does, I'll have some regrets, but it will be fine otherwise. So I'll place it there, knowing that otherwise this should keep the light away from it anyway. And then let's place our bed down. I guess actually we should place the bed down, like, here. Do you hear that, chat? Oh, it's that weird noise again that spooked me so many times. It's nothing, though. Let's go to sleep and hope we wake up not below it in the morning. Balloons wrinkle as they get smaller. No, I'm round and fat like a balloon. Oh, I can't believe I thought that was a point about wisdom. But it was you were making self-deprecating humor, implying you're the shape of a balloon. I mean, like, if you think about it, a sphere is like life's, you know, like, best shape. Ah, man. I can't believe that's all that was. Also, the Too Many Slabs song is back. You better believe it. Oh, there's a polar bear there, chat. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't expect this. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want this. Can they only spawn on, like, ice blocks or something? I'm gonna knock him off. Chat, I cannot and will not accept a polar bear up here. So, goodbye. He'd be nice to, like, keep as a pet or something, in theory. But I think he's just too high maintenance of a pet. Okay, one more, like, half stack of slabs. Should make a nice, perfect... I guess we really want to go a little bit more than a half stack, because we want to make some even round number. I guess 48 is a good one. Make 96 slabs. And we can make a whole, another 30 of these. Or 36. Then that makes 72 slabs, which gives us 6 more of these, which we can place to make... There we go. Okay. The inventory is filled with slabs now, chat. Let's go on our journey. We're going to find this jungle, or we're going to die trying. I'm only 70% sure we're going in the right way. Spooky, spooky. So I disagree. A triangle is the best shape. I mean... I think, you know, like, factually speaking, the square is the worst shape for, like, strength, but it's the best shape for packing, right? I guess you could argue two triangles makes a square. I guess that's the genius of the triangle. The number of triangles you have makes basically every other shape besides the circle. But circles are the best for, like, displacing, you know, like, circle are nature's shape. I'll take the 30% odds. I want to really look behind me every now and then to see a polar bear or not. So that's the danger of having a, that's the danger of now having a path that is above the level around it. I'm 110% sure you're going the right way, says MDoug. You know, I love MDoug's certainty. I one day want to be as sure as he is. That would be nice. Could be a great zoo animal if you could make it back alive with him. To be fair, that does describe every animal. A true circle can never exist. Is that true, or is that some made-up mumbo-jumbo? I feel like true circles can definitely exist. But yeah, I think, like, I mean, like, yeah, I guess perfect circles don't exist. But, like, everything exists as a rough circle, right? Like, isn't it crazy you never see a square or a triangle tree? You should be thankful you could see that polar bear. Yeah, if he'd have just followed me and then spawned in a baby, my life could have just been over. Could have been like, oh yeah, polar bear slayed you. It's just how life is sometimes, mate. And I'd be like, well, I guess, when you say it like that, not a lot I can do. So you're growing out your facial hair to get a beard. Every time I leave home for a few days, like, do you want some TMI, chat? I think there are some things that are just really stupid to do away from home. Like, I think everyone has the classic case of, like, I'm not going to get my hair cut if I'm in a foreign country. Like, I don't want to go and learn a new barber. You know, like, there's a lot of things where if you can do them familiarly at home, you might as well do them in a familiar environment at home. And one of those things to me is getting my hair cut. And one of them, like, on terms of daily is, like, I usually shave most days. Just while I'm in the shower, I, like, get it done. But I'm not going to bring a razor with me while I'm traveling, because, bringing the right shaving cream, making sure it fit. I used to do it, and I was like, this just sucks. It's not fun. It's a chore that and so I'm like, I'll let the facial hair grow when I'm gone. Because you need to every now and then. Also, I feel like a black hole is the perfect sphere, the cousin of the perfect circle. Show me which black holes you've seen, and then I'll believe you. A circle has two sides, inside and outside. Ooh, yeah, there's a deep one. I think if you don't mind me talking about the universe for a bit, chat, I think it is like beyond spooky that we are in a universe. We're in this giant space. And we know that it is getting further and further away from each other, to the point where we know that there is some space we will never see. Because everything we see because light is reaching our eyes. And in some cases it takes hundreds or thousands of years for the light to reach us. And so by the time we see something, we're seeing a 1,000-year-old version of it. But there are some parts of space we will never see because they're like too far away for us, right? They are so far away that we will never see them. They are so far away and they are getting faster and further away that the light will never reach our eyes, so we will just never see what is there. It's kind of spooky, really, that there's with our current understanding of physics, there is an amount of stuff that no human can ever see. Because I talking about existentialism a moment. I really do think the best case scenario for humanity is that there are aliens and they are watching us, but they treat us like a national park. Because the Fermi paradox is one of my like favorite deep thoughts that either it is possible for life to generate on there's some number of planets out there, a near infinite number. Some number of those planets, even if it's 0.00001%, can sustain life, and some number of those planets that can sustain life will sustain life. But we're the only ones we know of so far. We haven't seen any other species that's come across the universe to visit us. And so either it becomes impossible for a society to ever get to the point where it visits others, or we are first, which is infinitesimally likely in the grand time scale, or we are the only ones. It is possible that in the entirety of the universe, we are the only life that is ever going to actually see it. And I think that's something like worth seriously considering. If we are the only things in the entire universe, do our responsibilities change even? If we can take it that deep for a second, be like, do we have different responsibilities to the world more broadly if we know we are the only things that are going to see something? There's a lot of it's kind of like the bystander effect, that like if enough people see something bad happening, no one does anything because they just assume everyone else will. If you ever you're meant to like direct people, because otherwise people just go like, it sounds like a problem that will be dealt with by other people, but other people never come, and it's a whole problem. So like the idea of the solution to that is you've got to like be in charge of it. If you know you're the only person that will ever be around, your whole reality has to change. Have you ever seen the Moon Wakes Up YouTube little series? I think you might enjoy it. I think I might actually. I found a video that like so perfectly hit my niche the other day. It was a video talking about why generational ships could never exist. And I really enjoyed it because right now, the fastest we can travel, the nearest solar system that we think can sustain life is the Alpha Centauri. It's like, you'd have to like terraform the planet. Like, it doesn't sustain life in its current form, but it's not that far off what can sustain life here. So the nearest place that we could send humans, besides, you know, outside of our solar system, is the Alpha Centauri. But it would take 14 lifetimes to get there. Which means if you send someone in a ship to go there, they'll have died, you know, like 10% into the journey. So the only way to actually get people to the Alpha Centauri, with current technology limitations, and even then, we're assuming you can use all of the resources available to us, which you obviously couldn't because we're not going to get any payback from the Alpha Centauri in a while. But so the only way to get there is like a generational ship. If you've ever seen Passengers, it's like sort of based on this idea, but you freeze people. But so if you send a bunch of people on a ship and say, okay, you are going to have children on this ship, then your children will have children, and eventually their children will colonize this place. I watched a great video about, like, actually, that is a terrible idea, and it would never work, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Also, yeah, wasn't Toy Cat a legal alien for a bit? I in fact, was a legal alien for a little bit. I think America calling foreigners aliens is the funniest thing. But yeah, so it's fun because if you send people in a multi-generational ship, you aren't in control of what happens by generation 3, let alone generation 13. You know, like, our grandparents probably had a really good vision of how we were going to live our lives, and I guarantee it, with our drug legalization and our gay marriages and our transings and our you know, like, our $14 beverages, I guarantee we are not living it the way that they imagined. Because, you know, no one can be in charge. You know, no one really gets to make those decisions about the future, right? Every generation kind of decides for themselves what they're going to be doing. Aliens are more intelligent than us, so it makes sense that they call Americans call non-American aliens. Oh, big slap down on America there. The planet we live on is huge. There's so many people and places and things to see, and space is paywalled. So as a poor disabled person, I like constellations, but I don't care what's out there. So Lyle the Lemon Boy, if I could try and change your mind, I would say the reason that we want to go out to space, despite all the problems that are involved in it, it's not for me, right? I'm a huge believer that a good society is not one where we specialize everything for our own interests, but instead, it's an analog series based around the first moon landing. 4 minutes. That's great. That's perfect. My friend's been trying to get me to watch For All Mankind, and it's like, oh, I'm not watching another hour-long series that there's 25 episodes of. Anyway, yeah, I think it's hugely interesting to think about, like, what is out there, and I also think it's a prerogative for all humans who actually care about humans. You know, like, at some point you have to question, what are your values? Are your values, you know, like, I think a lot of people are hedonists. They believe that right here and now is the most important time. Make it count. Or are you someone who believes that the future is, like, there's something called, like, the death of the future. It's something that happens a lot in, like, traumatized or children from questionable households. Because you'll hear that something is happening in the future, and enough times that future won't occur, and you'll realize, like, there's no point thinking about the future because it might not ever happen. It's like a very sad thing to, you know, it's like it's a very depressing thing to have, but it's like a very common, like, you know, like, child side effect thing. Anyway, so the death of the future is, like, an understandable reason not to believe this way, but I think it is our imperative as a species that reproduces to make the best possible life for future generations of us. Or even to say that, you know, if it's not future generations of us, that our species is the thing we need to back. You know? Like, I am unapologetically pro-human. I think that's one of my, like, unshakable, unchangeable values. You can't convince me that it's worth plunging 10,000 people into poverty to save a bat. Or even to save 1,000 bats, or 1,000,000 bats, or 10 million bats. 1 trillion bats could die, and I would say, well, if it makes 10,000 people's lives substantially better, materially better, then, like, why would we ever prioritize another species over our own? They're never going to do the same for us, right? Like, so I'm a believer that we should believe, and we should want, and we should do everything we can for humans. You know, I'm like I'm like a non-human. I'm racist against non-humans, I guess. And one of the parts of thinking about the future of humans is that good people believe, good governance is when you plant seeds, even though you're never gonna live under you're never gonna get to enjoy the shade from underneath it. Plant the seeds to trees that you'll never get to enjoy. And I think that one of those seeds we should plant as a society is the seed of space travel. Because one day our planet, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, our planet will become uninhabitable. If you look at climate change, if you look, there's we're some, you could argue we're kind of like speed running it. But in either case, our planet is going to become uninhabitable, and we need to have a backup plan if we intend to survive. I know some people are real deep down the doomer hole of like, actually, we don't need to care. Let's just, say screw it and enjoy right here, right now. But that's not my belief. My belief is that we should care, in fact, actually. So place one of those, place a torch on it, place a bunch of slabs around, and then let's make ourselves another bed. We can only make so many of these beds, but this one can go right here. And then I'll wake up in the morning on day 164, and it will be nice. Every synapsis jumping from one thought. Indeed, I'm glad you. I hope so. Also, speciesist. Yeah, I'm speciesist. I am deeply down the rabbit hole of humans. Number one. You number one. I think humans are great. I think humans are worth treasuring, and I think that we should do our best for precisely that. Okay, so now let's make like another 24. That'll make 48 slabs, and that's a good inventory to keep moving forwards with. I'm getting close, chat. Soon I'll be able to see it, at least. You need to give some religious purpose for the generation passengers to kill time. So yeah, the reason I think, though, I want to come back to that. The reason I think that space is so important is because it's not what we're going to enjoy, or our children, but our collective species. Like, I'm annoyed by the number of people who think so narrowly that they're like, yeah, what matters is me and maybe my children. Anything else, get out of here. It's kind of funny. One of my, like, one of the things I'm like a real believer in recently is, like, if you look at how current countries are run. Also, thank you very much for the tip. Do you think we, at the rate that birth rates are falling and projected to fall around the world, will even make it space before our economies and societies collapse? Man, you're making me want to play the Bethesda game. But to answer your question, I do think that we do have a real issue that we might not make it to. I think that the way the world is going, we need dramatic intervention. And I'm worried if we don't have that dramatic intervention ourselves, we're going to have it via some form of war. I think that I don't want to believe this, chat. But as our worlds are shrinking, as our countries are shrinking, in theory we can stay roughly the same amount of prosperousness per sane person. That is to say, the biggest thing that's grown our economy for years has been adding more people to it. But as we get fewer people, in theory we can start, working out how to... it doesn't have to be that we all get poorer because there's fewer of us. But as a collective, we all get poorer. That is to say, the collective value that humankind has, the collective output of humankind will fall, which means that countries will start to fight over those pieces. Does Toycat know what coordinate he's heading to? I know I'm heading towards the jungle. That's what matters. But yeah, I think we are on like a dangerous course as far as our current species, and that's why I think space is like such an important dream. And that's why I think every person who says like, oh, but I would rather that we spend on a disability ramp for this train station than a space program or whatever. For anyone who would say that, it's like, no, obviously we need both, but don't you dare, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It strikes me as the idea that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, so we've got, you know, we got this like black hole in spending in the UK. What taxes are we gonna raise to make sure we fill it? And it's like, you don't. It's like some wild collection people are gonna have. It's like, no, don't. There's other solutions to this other than. Also, the issue of the idea of expanding to other planets as an insurance package is it will genuinely take millennia, and as for the escaping the dying sun, it might not be possible at all. I think escaping a dying sun is definitely possible, but I think as well as an escape plan, right? It's also just that is how we become a multiplanetary species. That is how we become a species that will one day go into the stars, and will one day be, you know, like, it's like if you were if you lived on the Isle of Man. Or the Isle of Wight, you know, you could live happily, or, you know, maybe a good better example would be like the Andaman Islands. So, if you don't know, in India, there are these islands of uncontacted tribes. People go there every now and then, and they try and, you know, like, people do go to these islands, and they'll try to convert the people to Christianity, or try to show them how cool the world is, like give them an iPhone. And invariably, these people shoot them to death with bows and arrows. They don't want to speak to outsiders. Humans, 3,000 years ago, more like 10,000, we could have all decided to be like them, right? We could have all said, honestly, I'm happy with my bows and arrow, and my skull teeth, and my killing of rabbits, and my hunter-gathering. It's awesome to hunter-gather. But actually, the world we have now, the fact that I can play Minecraft, and I can live under these silly circumstances, I think it's ludicrous. I think it's crazy that we get to do this, and we get to do it because someone said, I know it's hard, but what if we worked out how to get food to grow from the ground? And then someone else said, I know it's hard, but what if we worked out, like, how we could make that more effective? Like, what if we put, like, you know, cow poop down? And then someone said, really dumbly, like, oh, what if we rotated the crops? So we could go carrots one year, and then we could go wheat the next. And then someone stupidly said, oh yeah, what if we actually tried to... What if we made, like, engines that burn things, and so that... We've made all these advancements that people have said are dumb, and, like, throughout the entire time, there have been people saying, like, nah, this is all stupid. Why don't we just, like, enjoy what we have here, man? And it's like, no, the reason it's... the island looks a bit like a horse. Oh, I see that, actually. Chat, do you think the island looks like a horse? I see how it looks like a horse. Wealth inequality will grow exponentially. Buy assets and be on the wealthy side if it says flavor. Oh, I think this is hugely interesting. The... I spend a lot of my time trying to make sure I listen to the most compelling arguments from as many people as I can about their view of the world. And one of the most interesting ones, because right now I think we're heading for like a populist moment. Like I said, like as I think money has grown massively, assets are all going up a lot. Basically, we're in a time of inflation, the likes of which haven't been seen for like 30, 40 years. And so a lot of people are starting to realize, like, oh, money that for your whole life you just assumed was worth something goes down in value every year. That is to say, prices go up. And the first time prices go up, people go, oh, greedy corporations, why are you raising the prices? You think you're worth more in me money? Then the second time they go up, they're like, oh, so greedy. But after a while, you start to work out, everything's going up in price. Even when I negotiated more salary, we all still ended up, you know, I negotiated 20% extra salary, and I thought that was smart, but then everything went 20% up in price. It's almost like everything stayed the same price, but what's gone down is the value of the money. And like, yeah, we're going through that moment massively. The only, like, it is because we are... Also, I don't know if I'm going to make it, chat. I don't know if I have the blocks to get there. Is that a jungle over there yet? Oh, it's a jungle, chat! I see the jungle. I finally see the jungle. Oh, cannot believe it, but it's happening. So if we've got enough time left in the day, I'm going to make a bunch more slabs now. So just place a torch on this. Make a bunch more slabs. Just so we can keep things moving for longer. Do I have enough slabs? I definitely need more slabs. So Let's make 2 more sets of slabs. That should get me going all the way. And now we should be able to make it there before we rest in for the night. Will be great. I just need to make a few more of these so I can make one of these. Okay, don't fool, chat. Don't want to fool. Jungle ho! But yeah, I think that I think the most interesting part of this, my perception of the value of money definitely has not kept up with actual inflation. I totally agree that the way that we have so anyway, basically, if money has gone down in value, it means that actually the best way to prevent that is, so a lot of people say gold, a lot of people say Bitcoin. Both those things are seeing big rallies, don't get me wrong. But actually, you just have to own anything. If you own something that stays the same value, it will go up in relative value. So if you own a percent of a company, that company is still worth 1% of the economy, and you own 0.0001% of it. But as money has gone down in value, you get more money for it. You know, an easy way to think about this is if you think about the ruble used to be worth like 8 to the pound or something, or 8 to the dollar. Now it's worth like 140 to the dollar, which is to say every dollar will buy you more than 10 times as many rubles as it used to. The lira is an even more disastrous example. And so, also, Toycat, how will you get jungle wood? I have a clever idea, if you'll believe it. I have a clever idea. Yeah, I think that if you own assets, it's like the only clever solution. But now, as everyone works out, you need to buy assets. Now we're like increasingly dumping money, and so some people say like, okay, so we need to make sure that there's way more money. What if we just printed a bunch of it? That would make people want to hold on to money. And some people are like, what if we radically try and make money stable? Like low inflation is now a goal for a lot of people. And those two people are like coming to heads. So I like to listen to a lot of people who like I don't necessarily instinctively agree with. And modern monetary theory is one of the most interesting like camps of people in the world. Because there's a bunch of people who come together and say, actually, because a government can create money, that means a government never can have a debt crisis because they can just print their way out of one. And it's like a compelling, theory by itself. Okay, I'm going to place a block there so I can have a torch. Then I'm going to place blocks around here. And this will be my last little bed station before we make it. Chat, day 166. You heard it here now. It's the day we're going to make it there. I saw somewhere that modern video games are actually getting cheaper in regards to inflation. Games were $60 10 years ago, and now a lot of them are only $75. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are inflation. Like there's a what's it called? So salaries are sticky upwards. Salaries, it's really hard to give someone a pay cut. Most people, if you offer them a pay cut, will leave. So salaries can't go down. If deflation happened, if prices at the supermarket, if prices in games and petrol go down, you'll have a hard time convincing people to lower their salaries. And there's quite a few things that work the opposite. Quite a few things are sticky upwards, or rather sticky downwards. Like, no, the opposite, sticky upwards. So I think menu prices are a big one. When you see that a Big Mac costs more than the last time you were there, you get so outraged and you refuse to buy a Big Mac. Even if it only went up from £4 to £5.20, you're like, well, oh, that's a big increase. Went up from like £3.89 to £4.29. You're like, whoa, I need to stop going to McDonald's. It's expensive now. Things based on feelings don't follow normal things. And so there's a term for like menu pricing where like menus go up by more than inflation because they don't want to have to go up every 6 months because people hate prices increasing. So a lot of places will increase their prices by more than inflation just so they don't have to. And video games are a great example. Did you see the backlash to Mario Kart World being $80? It's because people hate that something should ever cost more. Because even if money's gone down, 60 is just it's not that, people don't expect that 10 Big Macs should buy a video game. And so if 10 Big Macs go up in price, or if 10, razors go up in price, or whatever else. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So anyway, yeah, we're going through like economically hard times. And I think economically hard times are what create like scary situations that we're always going through. And I think that, wouldn't it be great if there were a bunch of humans that were just removed from that? In the same way that we have, like, people on the Andaman Islands who, like, you know, I don't think that they're living the best life as a whole, but as a backup plan, like, if the world economy collapses and money breaks, no one accepts money anymore and we go back to the barter system, and then the barter system breaks and no one wants to do anything besides hoard food. If that happens, and we all die besides farmers, at least the people in the Amazon rainforest and the Andaman Islands are safe. Yeah, I think that it's hugely interesting. Also, I agree, satellites help us significantly, which proves some space helps our modern life, but I think we're talking about deep space exploration. But the thing is, we can't know what about exploration helps us until we go and explore. Something I thought was interesting is when we went to the moon, and by we, I mean, like, you know, the Russians and the Americans, they had this big, they did so much, they had to bring so many rock samples back because they figured there was a chance that they would find something incredible up there that they could bring down. And if you know how that went, they never actually found anything interesting on the moon. The moon is actually kind of like sad. They quarantined the astronauts because they figured there might be some life that would come back with them, like some giant bug that might kill humanity. That never happened either. By the way, look at this jungle. Isn't it glorious? Isn't it, chat? Anyway, yeah, I think that I think that the idea of, like, taking a bunch of our effort and putting it into exploration is always worth doing, because you don't even know what you're potentially not exploring until you go. You know, it's I think this is interesting in any market, but if you think about I don't know, if you think about YouTube as an area that I know at least somewhat well, right? One of the reasons why so many YouTube channels die, and, you know, why they fall into the lifespan of TV, you know, 1 to 2 to 10 years, you know, one of the reasons this happens so much is because at a certain point, you kind of don't want to explore new ways of doing things. You want to do things the way that you know. And this is true for me. Like, the reason I don't have a successful Let's Play series is because I want to do it real and legit. And I want it to be, you know, like, the values I think are interesting and not the values the market shows they want. You know, my Void Flat short chat, I used all the theory crafting I usually do, and then just recorded the clips of it, turned that into a short. People loved it. No one's like, oh yeah, is this real? That value is just one that people have zero regards for. Also, I'm not going to have enough wood, so I'm glad I brought the jungle wood with me. It's going to be funny, though, like, using jungle, just because I'm in a jungle. Also, thank you, Tanaf84, for the 20 Australian. Thanks for the good time, Toy Cat. Loving this series. Thank you for the good time that I am now entitled to. Thank you for making the stream a little better. But yeah, so, like, it's worth exploring. Like, I made that short, and I'm like, whoa, people love this. Not that, also, Flavor, I know you're probably recommending in good faith, but because of bots, you can never trust anyone on YouTube who says, make sure to just watch this thing by this person. It's sad because there are lots of great lessons we could learn, but that's not one of them. So yeah, that jungle biome to your right looks pretty nice. It's got some dark oak on there, so I'm a little worried about if we go there and, like, what we'll find. You know, I'm gonna... Oh, also, there's lava here. When I do get my slime, that lava will be hugely useful. I might be able to scoop it up, you know? See, I want to go deep in the jungle so I know there's a 100% chance of it being something good. And we're going to be good. We sent 1 geologist to the moon. 1. The rest were test pilots and the like. Oh, yeah, because you have to be a pilot to make it there, right? It's like, who did we send to New Zealand? A sailor. But it's, you know, that's not some deep point about how we think sailors are more important than, I don't know, farmers. It's that sailors can go to New Zealand and farmers can do farming. Is that a ruined portal? It is. We found, I think, there's also a giant lava pit over there, interestingly. This is going to be a really valuable little spot for our challenge. Member bots will be next level. Yeah, I know, right? That's what I'm saying is, like, it's just the slippery slope of like, well, especially because we just got 50 gifted members, there is a slight devaluing, you know, like in a following flavors logic here, the number of memberships you give out technically devalues every individual membership, because the more of them there are, the less every individual one means. But that's a deeper point for a different time. So logically, I could keep going through this entire place, but I think we're standing over a jungle now, which means I'm going to make a little staircase here, chat. Oh god, I hate that noise so much. So the staircase goes like this. And then on the other side of it, we have some grass. So the grass is going to go above this, just for now. And we're going to make a little 4x4 section of it right here. These are just here so that I can easily destroy the grass and not lose it later. That is very important. But now by having this grass, we have a small chance of spawning pandas. We have grass. It's in a jungle. Will a panda spawn? That is the fun question, isn't it? For now, I'm going to put down a bell. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you give it one. It's great. Am I sure I'm not on the beach? Oh no. You're making me worry now. I'm like 90% sure I'm not on the beach. But, yeah, I think the scarcity equals value is definitely a human construct. Yeah, and humans are the ones, and value is a human construct too, and so is scarcity. And so, as a result, you could make the decent argument. Anyway, with that said, thank you for watching. All this for a panda, why? Toby Piggy, I love pandas. Is that not a good enough reason? Anyway, I've got a lot of hard work ahead of me, including making a pond, going fishing for some bamboo, placing down some jungle saplings. I've got a lot of work to do, and we're going to do it in part 16 of SkyGloo. In fact, there's 34 days left now, which I think you could do in about 3 hours with sleeping. Wait, no. In about 6 hours of sleeping. Maybe we'll do a mega part, chat. I think that could be a lot of fun. But for now, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm sorry, Jenny Nobody. I only just saw you at the end of the stream here. I think there's a really interesting discussion to be had. But instead, for now, I'm going to say watch my latest video if you like news videos. And if you want to learn about my opinion on every single copper feature, tomorrow. For now, though, thank you. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Oh, this is so weird.